All right, hello Illumineers, and welcome to the ICL. We are super excited for today's matchup specifically because we are getting into the first round of the playoffs, and today we have, as always, two of the best teams in the world, but these two prove themselves to be a step above the rest, at least in the first season of the ICL, as they have both made it into the top cut. We have the juggernaut Tian going up against the Lorcana Loungers. Of course, you know Tian, led by Edmund Chu, arguably the best player in North America, DLC winner, North American champion.
Scoreboard best player, right? I mean,
yeah,
no one
for
else.
Sure.
He's really the only one who could claim it. I don't think anyone else could. Some people could try, but they would probably be statistically wrong about that. But I mean, maybe if someone has multiple DLC wins, they could try to do that, but no one does. So, alas, there we are. But you're right. We are in the ICL playoffs, the quarterfinals. We shall do. We have the first seed of Division A playing against the fourth seed of Division B, and that's going to kind of how it's going to be for placements. Although we did combine all of their records together to create like a seeds or rankings of the top 8, but that's only going to really matter for who gets to be on the play draw in game 1, because after that, obviously, whoever lost the previous game gets to choose play draw to keep it fair. Otherwise, seeding would be insanely powerful if you got to be on the play all 3 of the matches in a row. That would be a little intense, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited for this one. Lorcana Loungers are on a bit of a Cinderella run here, starting off with 2 losses and then ending with 2 miraculous wins to just sneak in as one of the 2 teams at 2-2 in the top cut here, going up against, like you said, the number 1 seed, Tian, who went undefeated, one of 2 teams to go undefeated. So we'll see if Lorcana Loungers can keep the magical run going. I'm excited to see this. I mean, both teams have excellent players. Obviously, they're both in the top cut here. I think either team could take it for sure. I know Lorcana Loungers has been prepping for this matchup, trying to do their best to find out what Tian might be bringing, and maybe bringing some counter picks, some spice. And they've been grinding at tournaments. I mean, Braden and Kolpos were both at the Ink Invitational over the weekend. Both made top cut there, 128 players, really cutthroat tournaments. So they've been in the lab. They've been cooking up some spicy decks, and they're ready to bring it to the number 2
I wish
seed
you weren't
overall.
so far away from me. I would love to be able to go to these Inkings, but alas, I think I need to save my travel for a few other things. And then hopefully we'll get DLC announcements. That would be amazing. Could you imagine if at Worlds they were like at the end of day 2, they're just like, and tickets go on sale now. Like,
I've got to log
it's
in.
next month.
Like, crash the site for sure. Yeah, I would be there. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with the next DLC season. How big are these tournaments going to be? Are they going to span 2 days? Are the top cuts going to be bigger? Is it just going to be the same? Really interested to see how that goes. How's the Infinity format going to work?
Are
they
going to do?
Yeah,
please get rid of 2-game format. That's all I ask.
Would be awesome for sure. I mean, there's a ton of skill expression. No doubt you get an advantage going first, but there is the ability to just be better than your opponent and win on the draw. It doesn't come down to just bricking or not bricking.
That happens in best of 3 as well.
Yeah.
I like that. People are like, oh, you won the die roll, so you get to be on the play, so you win. It's like, well, you also have 2 chances at winning on the draw. Like, and
yes,
if you can do that, then you get it, right? Like, it's better than only 1 chance. Like, I'd rather play 2 games on the draw than 1 game on the draw and get a draw.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, to make that day 2, you have to have a certain number of 2-0s regardless. So you have to be really good to do that. And I think it just takes some of the luck out by making it a best of 3. I think the better player is going to win more often than not.
And then the fact that so DeCandio had announced before Worlds that the math basically said that you could go 3-0 and then intentionally draw 4 times and you make day 2 of Continentals.
Yep.
Lo and behold, that announcement, they also made an announcement the morning of Continentals that IDs were not allowed, probably because of that. And
I agree.
in my mind, that is a big negative of the 2-game format as well. People don't like people double drawing into set champs. Wait till they go to a DLC and they see people getting 4 IDs in a row to make day 2. Like, if they don't like 2, they're not going to like 4, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definite. I mean, you see the Lorcana community. It's a younger, I'd say a somewhat less experienced community overall in trading card games. A lot of players were drawn in by the Disney aspect, and more power to them. I love Disney just as much as the next guy, but for a lot of people, this is their first game. So experiencing that sort of, the IDing into Top Cut, it's something that you and I are used to, having played other card games for years, but coming into it, it can leave a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth. And if you're doing it more rounds than you're actually playing, then that's not good.
I mean, you do have to agree. Nothing feels good about sitting down to play the last round, thinking you're going to make it into top 8, to find out that 8 people all shook hands and they cut to top 8 right then and there.
Yep.
But in my mind, that's a problem with the event. That event should have been cut a round sooner. If that was the case, that last round should have not happened at all if they could have just cleanly cut like that. So it's kind of interesting. But I think we're gonna start doing the player cards now. We have 5 minutes to go through both teams. Garrick and I were talking beforehand. We were like, you know what? Let's bust him out really quickly. He wanted to be more on the edge, or I'll let him say how he wants it. But we'll start him off with the first card and welcome Katie to the party.
Hello, Katie.
Oh my gosh, I made this. That's so great. So I busted open, as you said you were going to do.
Yeah, we have Chris from Tian here, one of the most experienced players. I definitely expected Chris to be on this playoff team, this playoff roster. He got second at DLC Las Vegas with Emerald Steel, a really memorable final. He also got second at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Brawl, top 100 at North American Championship. Shout out to Chris, one of the strongest players on Tian. Definitely expected to see him here in this position, and really excited to see what he brought for this playoffs.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this. I can't wait to see when Ed decides to play again. I think he played I do believe he played in the prelims.
He's mysterious.
Before we even started season 1. I don't know if he played at all in season 1. Maybe he did. No, he played against us. He played against us. He took down Sailor in a pretty unfortunate matchup.
Yeah.
You got to end on a high note. I think if you're going to you beat someone notable and then be like, well, I guess actually I'm busy for a while. Although he is in the chat saying, where is Chris's fake arm? He provided a photo. He has real arms, all real arms on the ICL. Shout out to Chris for providing a photo where I didn't have to give him a robot arm.
Keep those AI robot arms out of here.
Yeah.
Here we have JMBN. Do you want to read this card, Katie, or should I continue to read?
So team manager and chef and snack lady, which is important because sometimes when you're chefing, you're like, hey guys, it's not gonna be ready for a while. So she's like, here's some snacks. And then you're like, what kind of snacks? Boba. Now, if I know anything about Tian, I know that these players are humble as heck. Like they're like, oh yeah, I'm a physicist and I've won 1,000 tournaments, but I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I like boba. So like knowing what I'm reading here, she probably has won 1,000 tournaments, and she's like, I'm not telling. I'm just gonna say I really like boba, but I don't trust it. Everyone on Tiano, they intimidate me. The jackets, the skills, all of it. So that is Champion.
Champion is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your entire life. I met her at Seattle, and I was I was really trying to get the Cinderella mat. I'd like to do a couple more side events to get all the tickets that I needed. And then I finally got enough tickets. But by the time I got the tickets, the Cinderella mats were out. And I was talking to her about it. And she was like, oh, you should have told me. I would have just gave you the tickets that you needed. And I was like, I literally met you like a few hours ago. That's so nice. But I talked to her a lot at North American Championships as well. And I've seen her play. She is very, very good. In person, she played against one of my friends and absolutely twisted him up like a pretzel. So she is no slouch. Her smile and her demeanor, her friendly demeanor, pretty disarming, but she is very, very good.
And that is, I think, the lesson here. I want to believe that Tian, they come in, they're like mean, but like unfortunately they are quite nice. And they're
all very nice.
That's like a real bummer when like a team is really great and they're like, hey, do you want a snack? You're like, stop it, please.
It's much easier when they're mean. You can just hate them, right? But when they're good people, it's just like, well, I guess I'm happy you won. It sucks I lost, but
nice. Can't deny that. So that is chicken bien or jambon, which is French for ham.
All right. Well, we're going to go to the next player and add another person to the group. JDZ's here.
What do you
JDZ, read this card right now.
Am I the other person? Oh, wow. Coming in quick. Look at that. We have Iago from Tian. Yo, this is a 3D picture here. I'm kidding. I'm joking. This is AI. This is an AI gentleman. I'm joking.
It's just a good photo.
This is a very good photo. Very nice bald head. I like the commitment. I like the pose. He looks like he's going to sell me a beautiful timeshare somewhere on the coast. I would say
you swiped right the moment you saw the lack of hair.
Immediately. Player Lore produced the Battle of the Bay. 20 years of TCG experience and a deck builder. Okay, not a good deck builder, not a bad deck builder.
Just a builder. Once again, humble. This team's they're not going to overstate. They're not going to be like, I bet Ed's like, oh yeah, I play Lorcana.
Nice. I like that. I like the approach.
You play Lorcana. You kind of won. You
won. So Ed's not in the lineup here. Probably trying to preserve some information.
Nope. He's in the chat. Probably gonna say some things to try to make JDZ giggle because that's.
Yeah.
I think he's waiting until the finals, right? He's got to save his energy. You got to keep your heavy hitters to the last bit.
No injuries.
Interesting strategy, though. I mean, if your team stumbles and you leave your best player out, you don't make it to the final.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah, and you're just trying to.
Maybe Braden agrees. Because he's coming out with his team. Mm-hmm. No playmat in this picture. Nope, that's a trophy. That's how you pose for a photo. You hold a trophy. You just sit there. I mean, although he's not going like this, he's got to point it out. Is that how you do it in the Yu-Gi-Oh world?
I love that you keep that on your desk at all times.
Well, where else do you put a little trophy? It's small.
I think like on the mantle.
Am I going to build like a table for this? Like if it was 3 times, this was like Stanley Cup size, I'd have like a monument to it in my room. But where would you put it, Katie, if not on your desk?
Entryway? So I'd have like my entryway.
And your entryway?
And it was like a cover with like a spotlight. And be like, put your shoes here. Oh, that.
Katie, as a poor person, this is my entryway. My door is 1.5 feet away. I could go outside. So technically, it is in the same place you'd put it.
Welcome to my abode.
Let's go. Well, we got Braden here from the Lorcana Loungers. I think he's like the team captain. I think he's leading the troops out into combat. I had a chance to meet this Illumineer down at the Ink this weekend. I think he's a great player. I know he has some, I would say, not controversial takes, but I know he gets us to some skirmishes here and there on Twitter. But I think he never wronged me in any way.
He can definitely farm content on Twitter. He's good at that.
I think I'll double down. I think we need some of that kind of energy here.
Yeah.
Just hot takes all around. I love a good hot take, and I'll like and share a hot take from time to time.
Because I imagine he's scrolling, he's looking boring, stupid, heard that, and he's like, you know what, cracks knuckles. I'm gonna say this, and like that's my theory. Is like he's not probably all day just trying to say the sassiest things, but like he just feels like let's get loose.
Well,
let's get live.
His most recent sassy tweet is too sassy for me to repeat on live.
All right,
but, it was quite hilarious, and it got definitely a sensible chuckle or two out of me.
Sensible chuckle.
Okay.
We love to hear it.
I like it. Collects Game Boys as well. Maybe we can see a few of those Game Boys here live on the stream. Beautiful trophy.
They're in the background, I do believe, normally.
When he is the Game Boy.
Oh.
The team.
Ah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
on
a
that
reg-
note, let's go to the
Game
next
boy.
player.
Oh, is this the Chris Anderson,
Yeah.
aka Cran?
it is.
I do believe so.
Wow.
And the accolades speak for themselves, Garrick. I mean, what are we seeing here?
We're seeing a significant amount of player lore. The Pack 10K champion, top 64 Chicago, top 32 Las Vegas, 2 CCS Sunday event top 8s, 20. Am I reading that right? 22 SCG Open / Invitational Magic the Gathering top 8s. This
Yeah.
is a veteran of the cardboard and knows how to fling it with the best of them. Chris Anderson. I don't know much about this player, but now I do, and I'm excited to see him play.
I
Yeah,
think
he's-
if you are a 30-plus-year-old former Magic grinder, you have heard of Chris Anderson. And if you don't know the name exactly, you've probably played a list that you saw from an SCG Open top 8 list. Like, the man played for a long time. I know I've played a few of his different lists before. I can't remember exactly which ones, but I'm sure he played Delver of Secrets. Everyone played Delver at some point. But yeah, a very good player, and definitely not like if you used to play Magic and you sit down at a DLC and you see a former Magic pro play against you, it's not what you want to see.
I don't want to see a player across from me. I'd be like, oh, I get that I win. But I
And
will
I
say,
wanted to
buy.
A fun fact I have about Chris Anderson is that I didn't even know who they were. I would just see the decks that it would play in Digital Lorcana, and I thought the name was Cran, and I was calling him Cran for a long time. Like, I'm playing this cool deck
it
by a
does
player I know
read
named
that.
Cran, and they were like, no, that's Chris Anderson. I was like, oh wow, small
He,
world.
he
plays some
really likes
cool,
cranberries. I mean, it's just
There's a lot of really cool Amber and Amethyst decks that I thought they were just the coolest things, and I would try them out all the time. But shout out to him, man, and shout out to the accolades.
we do need to shout out, though, that they're like, oh, we're the Lorcana Loungers. And what is all this? What are all these accomplishments? You cannot be a lounger and an accomplisher. So I do think we need to possibly have a meeting after this and be like, hey, guys, maybe you're the Lorcana do something and you didn't know it.
Lorcana tryharders.
Tryharders. Maybe don't call them that because that's probably going to make them mad. They'll be like, all right, tryharders.
They
You're
got
a
Copos too.
tryhard.
Hold up, this team is stacked, man. What is going on?
You know about this. JD, you
Colpos
got to
is
talk
in the
about Colpos because
building.
you know him.
I was gonna say
Yo!
you just were
You
with
met
him the
this
other
man.
day, so I'll let you read this one out, JDZ.
I'm a huge fan of Copos, aka Tenh win. Tenh win means get that win. You know what I'm saying? Go get it. Good luck. Good win. As second place, Inking Invitational, Reign of Jafar. That was just this weekend. Shout out to Key Issues Garrick sitting right here in the building, holding it down. We were there, knocking that thing out. Top 4 SSG at the Maryland 10K, top 8 CZS Sunday event. And also very, very nice person as well.
Mhm.
I mean, aura through the roof. I mean, sometimes he shows up with the cape. The bangs are just flowing. Play is very smooth, elegant gameplay. Amethyst and Emerald player through and through. Big fan of this player. I didn't know he was on this team as well. They got a stacked lineup over here.
And
for
respect the fit in the profile picture
Look at
here.
that.
He's stunning. I love Colpos. I loved his deck from over the weekend. Very, very interesting toolbox list. I won't say much more about it, but I'm sure Tian Hu has done their research. Colpos, an amazing player. Really excited to see the spice that he is bringing today for the first round. I mean, all these players understand they're in the playoffs. If you're in the playoffs, now is the time to bring your best list, to bring some spice that's going to throw your opponent off, something they may not expect to get your team the victory. I'm really pumped.
And correct me if I'm wrong, these players had to fight in the top 8, correct? Like these are teammates, but briefly they were head to head. Am I remembering this correctly?
They did play each other in the top 8 of the Ink Invitational over the weekend.
Who did?
They did, and Colpos and Braden. Colpos came out with the win in top 4.
Yeah, insane. I thought that was great. I did not know he was on the team, man. So we might have to do some. We might have to do some predictions here, man, and figure out like who's gonna take this thing down. I'm not certain anymore. I was.
You were all on Tian Hu, and then you see the lineup, and you're like, well, now what?
I had my red and black on just ready to support some Tian Hu here, and I might have to do a little costume change. Go put on some white and black lumberjack with the hat to match, dude. There, I might switch it up. I don't know.
Get your bow tie on.
I might have to get my bow tie on, man, because
get your dapper poo going.
You got
dapper poo.
You got smelling that?
Dapper poo.
I might be smelling an upset. I think I'm going with the Loungers tonight. I think I'm going with the Loungers. We're jumping ship. I'm going with the Loungers. I think they take it down in a grindy 3 matches. I think I'll take all 3. I think it'll be a back and forth. I think it's gonna be a grind. But now I see the lineups. I think I'm going with the Loungers on this one. Yeah.
Oh my. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna live vicariously through the team that beat my team. Even without Ed there, I think they have some heavy hitters, finalists and DLCs, amazing players. Braden's gonna make me laugh. He's got those Game Boys, but you know he didn't beat my team. Tian Hu did. So Tian Hu's gonna win the whole event, or I'm gonna feel bad.
Okay.
So
okay.
3-0, make me feel happy.
3-0.
Ooh.
I like
Shut
it.
out.
I 3-0, that is really intense. You're like, no chance. I will say that I was sitting at my little kitchen table, and I look up, and I'm like, oh wow, that's my favorite deck of Amethyst Emerald. And then I look, and I said, is that the man with that extraordinary cape and hair that I remember from Southside Gaming? And in the interview, he said, I play at Southside Gaming, and I said, my God. So I mean, I think that counts for at least 2 wins. Like he's gonna win, and then his essence will make someone else win. But I do think Tianhu, they're gonna get 1 win. Like they can't not get 1 win. So I do think it'll be 1-2 or 2-1, depending on your side of the table. But it's being heavily carried by that beautiful lock of hair on top of that man's hair.
Let's do it. Man, I think it'll be a great match though.
So Garrick, you're the last one, right? Did you already do
I
yours?
am. You are correct. So we went
yeah.
1 Tianhu, 2 Loungers. Just for the sake of fairness, I'm going to go Tianhu. It's a crazy good matchup, though. It could go either way. I think both teams brought their absolute A game, and I think it's going to be one of the most exciting matches that we're going to get. I think people are underestimating the Loungers, though. Like I told Wonderland before Katie and JDZ got here, they're on a bit of a Cinderella run. And Cinderella is like the Disney princess, you know what I'm saying? And they are on 2 wins in a row to get into the playoffs. Can they keep the miracle run going?
I mean, that does make sense. So they got to do what I wanted Maelstrom to do. Maelstrom won that 3rd game. And then I was like, all right, if they 3-0 the last round and tiebreakers go crazy. I mean, the Loungers didn't 3-0, but tiebreakers went crazy and they snuck in. That was what I wanted the Maelstrom to get to. So, like, some big shout out there, and that has to feel good. Like, I remember when he saw the picture, he was like, wait, we got in? Like, he didn't think they were even had a chance.
Yeah, shout out to Braden and the Loungers. This is going to be a great match.
All right, but
Absolutely.
we're gonna jump over here. We're gonna see Katie again in round 2 with Katie and JDZ, and in the 3rd round we're gonna see Color and JDZ. But this is all you get to see of me. I'm lazy. I'm gonna pretend to go test for Worlds when I'm being lazy and making.
Well,
dinner
this is
instead.
studying. You're studying
And
for
you're
Worlds
gonna
right
see
now by
Garrick.
watching.
True.
No, don't
That's why
lie,
Ed's
Luke.
not
You're
playing.
just trying to
He's
keep
not
your
letting the
secrets.
sauce out.
Because if you give everything is information, everything is intelligence. If you're giving commentary, that's going to be leaking
That's
your
true.
own preparation,
Yep,
dude. So you
exactly.
can't
Gotta pay for that.
Exactly. It's not that I'm lazy and worthless. It's that I don't want to leak the sauce. But we get to watch Garrick and JDZ start this game 10 minutes late because I'm fantastic at my job. So peace.
do it. We're back at it again, Garrick. It seems like it was just yesterday when we were
Start now.
Yeah, we were locked
Cool.
in and
I'll put you
engaged
back.
in the dojo, and we're
right.
back at it again for some ICL action, man. And I can't wait to get back out there for the next Ink non-invitational Ink Open. I'm looking forward to it. I am laser focused and excited for that. But for tonight, we got a great matchup. We saw Braden playing some Emerald Steel last time. Maybe roll that back in. Yeah, a nice hot streak with that. Chris, very hungry, also plays a little bit of Emerald Steel throughout the tournament so far. So who you putting your money on if you had to gamble here?
Oh man, don't make me choose. Both players, big fan of both players. And shout out to Chris Louie with the foil Baymax playmat, just out here flexing. But yeah, I've seen both decks. I know you don't like to take a little sneak peek, but these are I think it's a deck we're gonna see a lot of throughout Reign of Jafar here, and it might be the last ride for this specific deck. We'll see how things shake out, but this is a mirror match we've seen a lot of in the ICL. It's something you and I are both very familiar with. I think it's going to be fireworks for sure. As we see an Ursula going into the Inkwell, Or no, we see an Ursula going to the
Yeah,
inkwell and passing.
and
Yeah.
more. So it looks like we might be getting a little taste test of the mirror. Like I stated, I know both of these characters, both of these players are known to play this unique strategy. And Emerald Steel is going to be revealed for Chris, who is going to be on a pretty nice little hand there. I think, as the Diablo is going to take a little sneak peek.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ursula on 2, one of the best things you can do against opposing steel decks, 100%. Love to
yeah.
take those songs away from them, those tools that they need, especially if they're only on 1 or they have a bunch of uninkables. It could be such a brutal back-breaking play, even
Mm.
just on turn 2. But we see a few sudden chills here. Do we have the Diablo? No, he doesn't
No.
have it. So no Diablo unless he gets it off the top for either player
Yeah.
early on here.
So both players getting some value from their Ursula. You saw that Ursula down to the inkwell. That's pretty much a key indicator that another Ursula is going to be revealed on 2, and it will strike true on a certified target because you know that Storm Rage on is going to be in hand. Talk to me about this matchup. What are the keys to victory? What is the players? What are, in your opinion? I know you've been testing a little bit of green steel in your part time. What are some of the things these players are trying to do to gain a little bit of advantage in this matchup? Is it just Ursula early and often, or is it trying to be the Diablo Wars? What are you trying to do in this mirror?
I love to disrupt my opponent as much as I possibly can when I'm playing Emerald Steel. Ursula is a great way to do that. Talking about the Deceiver of all, also
Hmm.
pretty good if she is able to survive on board. It does take a little bit to get rid of her, a Strength of Raging Fire, Double Storm, something like that. But you want to disrupt your opponent, get them off their game because they have a very specific game plan that they want to
Hmm.
get done. And if you can mess with that a little bit with your Ursula Deceiver, with your Pete Games referee, throughout the match, you can definitely come out on top. But these are very back and forth games. It can seem completely out of grasp for one player, and then all of a sudden they get a Prince John out, they start discarding, they start drawing, and things turn on a dime as Chris plays out the Diablo here because he saw Braden had no removal for his Diablo. So just play it the good old-fashioned way for
Hmm.
ink and see if it lasts a turn.
I'll be interested to see if we go for that Prince John sudden chill line, which is a very common play, just to try to get. Oh, we're gonna ink this, or we're gonna hard cast sudden chills. What do we do
We
there?
Maybe we have the
Shift
Diablo
it.
here. Are we shifting or did we play that?
I'm trying to figure out. We can't quite hear what the players are saying, but I do agree with your assessment. I think that's the way to get to the finish line in this Emerald Steel mirror. I think Pete's a very important card, and also that's Pete Space Pirate. I think typically when that card can land and hit the field of play, I think that can kind of turn the game on its head. We're gonna go shift Diablo, same storm.
Oh,
Look at that. The
so
combinations.
he got the storm and he got the shift line after
Oh my
taking a
goodness.
look at the hand. Chris thought he was safe to play his Diablo out, but like I just mentioned, these games can swing in an instant, depend on that draw. And here comes the Prince John, that 3-cost uninkable 1/2 with ward. Whenever your opponent discards a card, you may draw a card. Just so incredibly powerful, so annoying, man. You can't get this guy off the board.
Bane of everyone's existence, this Prince John. When he gets rotated out, if they reprint this card, he's going to cause a lot of strife and panic through a lot of the player base. I'm telling you, people are counting the days until this card is removed from this game. But it is a very good card, and it does require a little bit of setup. I just wish there were a little bit more ways to kind of clear this character off the board a little bit easier, in my opinion. I don't think it needs ward. I think that's just a bit too strong for what this card is trying to do. But still, it's part of the game. We accept it as both players do have access to it, and they will be playing it as Pete's going to be deployed, and the Pluto is going to get into the inkwell. Say that a few times fast.
Yeah, Pete's a good way to get yourself back in the game, like I mentioned, but you want to get these opponents' cards off the board. You want to remove that Diablo if you are able to, but couldn't do it that turn. Gonna stall Braden out here a little bit with the Pete, and hopefully next turn come back with a strong response going into turn number 5, potentially getting a beast, maybe finding some removal, or you could shift that Pete even and prevent your opponent from singing.
But we'll just pay 4 and play this chip. It's an interesting card. We'll discard a card, and it will trigger the Prince John. So we'll lose another Pete, and now Diablo is free and clear to quest. As of right now, you don't have the evasive character challenge into it, and you really don't have the song. I don't think. I think we saw a few cards in your hand. You do have the Pete that set up. So did we ink that strength? I think you still have the strength. So Pete should be able to sing strength next turn, and it'll at least take the Diablo down. But you're kind of losing this advantage war rapidly.
Yeah, for sure. And you need that advantage to stay in this matchup. They like to drain the cards and the resources from one another. And right now, Braden is doing the better job at that. He was able to find the Diablo and to let the Storm rage on to out Chris's Diablo early. And that was such a swing in this matchup when Chris thought that he was safe. But we'll see if he has something to clap back here. A Strength of a Raging Fire will get rid of the Diablo. That's a good start.
That's a slight start, and you can also challenge advantage this Ursula. So you did not develop a character this turn, and you preserved your ink. Getting the strength deployed without singing it. I think that's some value going 2 for 2 there in that exchange. Ursula's deployed now, get another sneak peek, and it is the saddest beast. So if you can get another ink off the top, deploy this beast and get him to stay on the field of play for some time. You can be on your way. Maybe start singing some. We don't talk about Bruno's off the top as Morphus being placed into the field of play as well.
And there's the Strength of a Raging Fire coming down.
And just to clear this Pete, maybe trying to break up a potential off the top Pete Space Pirate shift line. And did you get to the ink? It looks like you might not have, as you're shuffling those 2 cards very aggressively. Pete Space Pirate was on the top of the deck as well, so blasting that Pete seemed to be quite correct as you're going to set up this beast.
Yeah, need that beast on the board to try and get back into this game, at least as far as your hand is concerned, and maybe start removing some things as another Prince John comes down. Are we going to sing? Oh, and he had another Strength of a Raging Fire. I was wondering why Strength was being used on Pete when he knew Beast was in hand, but he had a second lurking and found the character to not only turn the draw engine off, but turn the Beast off entirely as Muses comes down.
That is fully brutal right here. Muses cannot engage with these Prince Johns. You can't really effectively get through this chip too well either. Ursula, you can bounce back, but do you really want to do that as you're going to respond with your own Muses in turn? So this board is looking very good for Braden, but he might be able to thwart your questing with those Prince Johns right now. Currently, you'll challenge advantage the Ursula, and you're still going to quest anyway. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like the quest here. Good aggressive quest. I mean, what's the Muses going to do? Challenge my Prince Johns? You got no cards in hand, so they're not doing anything by remaining upright. Well, might as well get some lore. And 3 of my 5 characters have wards, so they're not getting bounced.
For sure. I like that approach a lot. And also, it'll put your Muse into a vulnerable state. We'll send the Ursula in. And now this is looking all roses. Braden sitting at 14 so far, as you can still continue to aggressively quest. You could also challenge and banish this Muses. You will trade your chip, but that is an option that you have. Let's see what choice you would take here. Would you go ahead and challenge, or would you go ahead and keep questing aggressively?
Removing the chip's not bad. It prevents your Prince John from being challenged back by the Ursula. I think it could be a good option here. Go with the chip into the Muses and quest with everybody else, but it looks like we're just going to quest up here to 18. Are we going to go to 19? No, it looks like we are singing Let the Storm Rage On to Ursula. We're going to find another card here, choosing to return Prince John to hand and guaranteeing himself the game as Chris scoops it up. The Prince John cannot be interacted with unless there's a Grab Your Sword in the deck. So that guaranteed Braden the victory there, bouncing his own Prince John with the Muses.
Absolutely. And that just kind of we kind of told the story of how that match typically goes at the onset of this round, as it seemed like that very diabolical shift Diablo Storm turn after you establish your Diablo. I think that's where the game kind of just fell apart. And that's one of those things. You just got to draw the cards. You got to have them in your deck for one, and then you have to draw them. And that is how volatile this mirror can be from time to time. I would like to see the deployment of that card Beyond the Horizon. We haven't seen that really do too much. Maybe these players have access to that card in this deck, and that could be another super volatile swingy card that can either take advantage or win or lose the game for a player here. So what are you trying to see from Chris going into this next round?
Yeah, you basically want to do the same sort of thing on your start. You want to find the shift line for the Diablo, but going Ursula into Pete is definitely a great way to stall your opponent if you're looking for those combo pieces. But basically, you just want to hope your opponent doesn't draw the out on the exact turn that they need it. But I think Chris played it as well as he possibly could have, getting the beast out on the turn when he needed it, when Braden was low on resources. But unfortunately, Braden still had the answers in hand. But yeah, like you said, Beyond the Horizon could be something that these players could potentially deploy in this match. And if you're able to get that card off with that Ursula and a Prince John on board, it's absolutely back-breaking. I don't think it's as back-breaking as the wide community thought it was going to be when the card was revealed and we started talking about it. It really has not performed in tournaments like maybe we thought it would. Just completely dominate the format like these Sapphire Steel decks at the beginning of the last format. But it's still a very powerful card and combo if you're able to get it off.
Yeah, I'll double down with that. Like you said, we just did the Ink Invitational this weekend, and we didn't see that card resolve one time on stream.
Nope.
Out of all the rounds we observed, out of all the matches we played, and we watched a lot of steel matches as well, Garrick, and I did not see that card resolve single time in 12 hours. So as you go to say, I mean, maybe it's not what we thought it would be, and just give it a little bit of time. I thought Sapphire Coil was a card that a lot of people really had some gripes about, and Ink guys as well. I think Sapphire Coil is the only one that really lived up to that reputation that it deserved coming out of the gate.
Yeah, for sure. Sapphire Coil is a beast. And if Hiram was still around, I think that Ruby Sapphire would have overtaken Sapphire Steel as the premier deck in the format. I know Sapphire Steel was the deck to go with the Oswalds, the Tamatoas, the Scrooges, but I think just the power of the Sapphire Coil and how you can abuse that in that strategy would have ended up just being an absolute problem for everybody moving forward.
I agree wholeheartedly, as Braden looks like we're going to do a very light altar. We're going to change it up a little bit, and that's a very problematic sign for me. If I see my Emerald Steel opponent not sending 7, I'm starting to panic a little bit.
Yeah, you're definitely sweating if your Emerald Steel opponent only sends back 2 and you sent back 6. But those are the breaks sometimes with Emerald Steel. Even in the non-discard versions, that Diablo shift line is so powerful. It's just feels really, really good to start off with it. It forces your opponent to have the answer, and if they don't, he can snowball into a major issue. Although I think Diablo is a great card, I think Prince John is really what breaks the back of the opponent most of the time in this deck.
I think that's an insane design. He has ward. He just sits there. And fun fact, I watched that movie last night. Prince John was super annoying in that movie too. The Robin Hood film with the animal, the crybaby Prince John was so annoying. They did him so well, as it was very fitting. And they captured the annoyingness of that card in this game quite nicely, I would say. No. I've seen that. Was not my first time watching that movie. I've seen that movie multiple times, but as an adult, like I haven't really seen it recently. And I'm just trying to. I'm full studying for World, so I'm watching all the movies again. I'm studying the card pools, just trying to get a little bit of extra, a little this and that. And I watched him. I was like, this guy's killing me, dude. Get him out of here with the thumb sucking and the rings and the way he was treating old poor Mrs. Sir Hiss, dude. He didn't deserve to be treated like that. That's what
Sir Hiss is a legend.
Yeah, Sir Hiss was getting dogged out, man, for no reason. And look at this hand. We got the whole shift set up.
We do.
We got a sneak peek. This might be a good on the draw hand there for Braden, who is going to send that beast down. Probably take a sneak peek with this Diablo and see what Chris is working with here.
Yep, we're going to take a look back. We have the shift line. We have the hidden cove.
Ooh.
So we have it all.
This is going to be a game, Garrett.
A bombastic turn 2 play. You're going to have to ink that Muses if you want to put that Diablo into the cove, unless you find a better ink off the top. But, Hakuna Matata, it means no worries. You got a Diablo in the hidden cove.
Yeah, I think you might have to lean. You might have to lean towards it, I would say. I already forgot the cards that are in Braden's hands, but I saw that there was a Zeus in there. You can shift your own Diablo, but shifting into a Diablo who can be firmly placed to the cove, it might not be the most ideal situation. So this is going to be a game of Digital Lorcana right here. I think both these players are locked in. Perfect information for each side. As now I'm interested to see how Chris is going to break this thing down.
Yeah, Chris, as Wonderland just mentioned in the chat, would love to find some removal here, like Braden did early on in game number 1. And there is Beyond the Horizon, but we are using it to shift. So we keep our inkable card. We don't talk about Bruno in hand no longer, never mind. Chooses to ink that. I think over the Muses is the correct decision, but we are going to quest, move the Diablo nicely, snugly into the cove. You would love to find a removal, a song here, or a sudden chill would be nice as well, because you are going to deploy Prince John on the next turn. Let's see. Oh, and we did find it. blind
That's
into the
cold calculated.
storm.
I think Chris was trying to do some gamesmanship, trying to play around that Ursula, putting that we don't talk about Bruno down to Inkwell and hoping you cross your fingers that they don't send that Ursula after they see 2 songs go, and he sent it anyway, just to get new updated information. And I would tilt there a little bit. Not gonna lie, if I'm Chris.
Well, that song was just drawn on Braden's turn by the Diablo. He didn't even have it before Braden drew for his turn, which is the crazy part.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because you can count the cards and see you knew that the Diablo literally just drew that storm. And
yeah,
that's why I tilt. I'm like, come on, man, come on, deck. You gonna do me like this after all I done for you, enchanted you out, your max rarity? You're gonna do me like this? Hate to see it. Yeah, absolutely. Diabolical Ursula 2 is gonna do her thing. Now Braden is running the numbers. Maybe you're thinking about potentially going for a shift here, which would, I think, be a super gamble.
Yeah, especially if you turn that Diablo over and exert it to quest, because you can just go 1 for 1 with the Diablos here on a challenge. You don't even need a song to remove it. So I think it is a risk. Braden doing the calculations in his head. Do I take this risk? And it looks like he's going to go for a quest. He needs the extra card in his hand. We don't talk about Bruno, not super useful right now. Willing to get rid of his Diablo potentially for a card off the top.
Just for 1 card, because you're losing this Diablo for sure. Like, it is gone. And or not, maybe not. Maybe when something like that happens, you have to think like, okay, is my opponent trying to bait me somehow? Are they trying to bamboozle me? Am I being hoodwinked in some form or fashion? I always think, because there's a Zeus available. Maybe you're trying to, I don't know. I'm always perplexed when those types of things happen.
Yeah, it's a tough call here. I don't know what Chris drew off the top, but I would be inclined to maybe take the Diablo off the board here while I have the opportunity to do so. We know he has a Muses. We know he has a Prince John. That 3rd card is the unknown factor here, and it's making him think a lot. I wonder if it's an uninkable, or maybe it's a card that he wants to not ink here. Otherwise, we would have probably seen it tossed into the inkwell at this point. It looks like we are going to take that Diablo while we have the chance.
Yeah, I think that is a correct decision. But now the Diablo is basically stapled to the hidden cove. When the cove goes, he goes. Unless you can do some kind of Muse bounce your own Diablo play just to keep him around. Or I don't know if there's any other card in the strategy that can remove damage or heal or pass damage along in these color combinations. I just don't think it exists. And I don't think you would play it if it did. But interesting chain of events. Maybe there's a way you can clear this hidden cove now if you're Braden, and you're so back as well with 1 card being added. As we establish our own Prince John here, coming back at it again for Braden, who's got problems abound, as you need to find a solution to this Diablo immediately before things start to get discarded.
Yeah, what did Chris ink?
He ended up inking that Muses there. He inked the Muses and played the Prince John, and now you're going to respond with your own Prince John in kind, and let's see if some discard is going to be on the follow-up.
Yeah, so really curious to see what that card Chris kept in his hand was as the Sudden Chill comes down. Likely wasn't Sudden Chill.
Electing not to sing it either with this Diablo. Very interesting. Maybe trying to get that additional lore, and you probably feel that you don't have much to do with your remaining ink. So keeping that Diablo free to quest. Prince John, possibly free to quest. I don't think he'd quest him.
Yeah, not at this point. And again, really interesting, like you said, playing out that song the old-fashioned way with 2 ink. When you have a singer on the board, but maybe he wants to sing a different tune with his Diablo, or maybe he's just valuing lore.
And we are going to put another one of those Diablos down, just enough to move the Prince John over to the hidden cove. Now he's a little bit more tough, a little bit more resilient, but you're putting a lot of stock into this hidden cove that has 3 chicklets of damage on it, 3 damage pieces. And you're questing these glimmers now, I guess, because you feel that your opponent's going to send all their effort into this hidden cove. You know they got this Zeus coming in that can blast this hidden cove. So I think it could be a punishment coming back for Chris. You go for the hardcast Zeus, pop the Cove. You're going to lose your bird, and now your Prince John is vulnerable, and he will be challenged and banished here. So I think Chris is probably going to want that one back. If I had to look back at this turn, that was just a huge tempo loss there.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see why Chris did decide to quest there with the Prince John.
Yeah, I would like to know that as well, because you just gave that guy up. Granted, like you said, maybe you felt that he's done his duty for Queen and Country. You feel like he's did everything you wanted to do, as Chip's going to be deployed here again, side by side with another Prince John getting a rip. He just wanted to get that lore.
Yeah, Braden consistently able to find the discard with the Prince John out on the board. Going to find another card here, as that is a We Don't Talk About Bruno heading into the Inkwell. Wonder if Chris has that shift line available to him. Not anymore, as... Oh, just kidding, because Pete was just played, so we cannot do that.
Psych! Kidding. Joke's on you. No, it's all good. As we're just viciously shuffling there, just trying to... see what we can do. We've got another Pete, so that's a good little way to turn around. You have 2 heavy attacking characters, 3 for 3, quest for 1, vibrate magnificently. If you wanted to, you could send this chip in on this Pete. Where are your songs? I think Braden needs to Chris needs to get a tune here. I don't think you've sang a song yet, or you played a couple, but you Storm, no strength so far. As you play your own Pete now, so Pete on Pete violence, back to back.
Yep, Pete, the ultimate Pete counter. There is the shift Pete available, so I thought maybe that might have been sitting in the hand. Pete, Space Pirate is a great character to combat steel decks. It is a 5/5 that quest for 2. While it is exerted, it does have resist +1.
Look at that.
So extra resiliency against opposing steel decks, as we do go on a quest here up to 6.
So yeah, Pete, and then to another Pete. Do you have another Pete? I see your Pete, and I raised you another Pete, a third Pete, a 4th Pete. As we're going to pay the troll toll, we're going to full value onto the Strength of Raging Fire, and then we'll be able to challenge in for 3 to banish the Pete Space Pirate, who went as fast as he came. You should get so much more longevity out of those Pete Space Pirates. Not going to lie.
Yeah, typically a tough card to deal with, but if your opponent is able to get a wide board with Strength of a Raging Fire, just one of the strongest cards in Disney Lorcana when you're able to utilize it in the right spots, and we see the power of it there, and we just send the chip in. I mean, the chip did its job. He discarded a card, he drew a card off the Prince John, and he challenged into a Space Pirate and got rid of him. I mean, Pete is overperforming in this match right now.
And we also have this Pete set up with the I'm Still Here, so even your Pete won't be able to challenge and banish into the opposition Pete, who is who's kind of protected with that resist. I think that's very interesting. I thought that maybe you'd hold that, and maybe you can get some plusage with that Pete in combat. But maybe I think about these things a little different. Maybe that's why I'm so cheeks. I got to work on that myself in my own personal game. That is a hasty move. Maybe the judge will let him take it back. Oh, the judge won't. Oh, I hate it here. As the I'm Still Here is going to give resist. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Brutality incarnate.
Tough to see here, but if this beast survives, maybe, just maybe, we can get back into this game. Is there removal in the hand for Braden? He's inking a Mulan. Looks like he has the We Don't Talk About Bruno for 5.
Yeah.
And we are going to discard a card randomly on the side of Chris. The random card is the Beast.
Yeah, I think Chris might have started tilting very early on, because I know I like to project my own feelings onto the players, because I know I would have tilted, and then I could just only assume that Chris maybe just started tilting a little bit from that Ursula turn. I'm already like, okay, this game is rigged. I hate it here. And then that's one of those things. As we're going to be on the approach. We're going to hit the Beyond the Horizon. I can hear.
Just rip the Beyond the Horizon.
No, it's going to scoop it up. Yeah.
Said there's nothing I can do. Can't even play this card.
Whew. Man.
And that is it.
Let's do it. All right, so we'll go ahead and kick it over here and see what the players have to say about that matchup and how it went down. So we'll mute ourselves.
If you want to say, like, hang tight for a second, the commentators will be here in just a sec.
Gentlemen, Braden, with your victory, congratulations. Chris, you kind of went down there. I love the beautiful Baymax mat, and the keyboard looks phenomenal. I think that's a very lovely keyboard you have there. But we'll talk to you first, Braden. Congratulations on your victory, and also congratulations on your top performance at the Ink Invitational. You're still on Emerald Steel. Thoughts on Emerald Steel in this metagame? Are you playing Beyond the Horizon, or is there? What are some of the set 8 cards that you are leaning on to help adapt this strategy on into Reign of Jafar?
So I think Chip is a really great card. You saw a few times in that game.
Mm-hmm.
My opponent played Pete, and I was able to then play Chip to get through the Pete and get that discard in, sort of like a Lucifer, but turn earlier. And
Mm-hmm.
it has a better body. It's a 3/2 at least. It doesn't quest for 2, and it's inkable, so it's like a pretty huge improvement to the deck, I think. And because I'm on the draw, I knew I was going to be on the draw going into this round. I actually played an extra Pete, not extra Pete, an extra Chip. I was on 2 the other day, and I was on 3 this time because I knew. The discard plan's a little bit better when you're going second, and so I kind of leaned into the discard plan a little bit harder. Additionally, if I was on the Beyond the Horizons typically, I think I would not want them here because I'm on the draw, and I think it's less likely you're going to be able to set up those like early turns where you're head on board, and then you can kind of exert a whole bunch of stuff and risk the challenges that are going to come back at you. When you're on the draw, it's just less likely that's going to work out for you. So I didn't include those either. Although I'm not very hot on them in general.
Okay, I got one more question I want to ask you before I kick it over to Garrick. But there was a turn there where you had the Diablo versus Diablo in the Cove, and you went for the shift anyway. Could you just talk about your thought process on that, and what made you take that line of play?
So I had 2 ink, and I had a Zeus Bolt in my hand, and I knew that in 2 turns I was going to be able to play the Prince John on 3, and then hard cast the Bolt on 4 on the location. So in my mind, I'm going lower on cards, which is like not necessarily a bad thing when you're playing a discard deck. I'm getting the damage on the location for sure, and I'm putting 2 damage on the Diablo so that when I get rid of the location, the Diablo is going to die. So if he challenges my Diablo, he is risking getting rid of the Diablo in like just 2 turns, unless he draws a Ursula. But then on his turn 3, he's also playing his Ursula instead of playing something like a Prince John or a something that he would much rather have, right? So that was my thought process. Was like kind of had an answer for the Cove, and that 2 damage on Diablo means that when I get rid of the Cove, I get rid of the Diablo, and I just didn't think it was super smooth for him.
That play did come up in full effect. But Gary, you got any questions for Braden before we bring Chris in to hear what they have to say about that turn?
Oh man, Braden, congratulations on your win in today's match. I just wanted to know how it felt to blind rip the Let the Storm Rage On with your Ursula on 2 after you knew he didn't have a song in his hand, but might have one off the card he just drew off his Diablo.
You know, when you're always lucky, you just get used to it. That's all I can say.
Fair enough.
Sometimes you just play it,
Yeah.
And we did mention that in the booth. I would have tilted so mightily that I probably would have just scooped the game right there. But Chris was a soldier.
There's a lot of value in the turn 2 Ursula when you know you can tilt them off like that, right?
I'm telling you, I would have lost my cool. But Chris, we got you here, and we're talking about that turn in particular. Was there any tilt? Did you experience any? Because the Diablo clearly drew the storm, and your opponent nabbed it with the Ursula. What do you think about that play? And just talk about your strategy. We saw you were playing Beyond the Horizon. Is that a card that's been performing pretty well for you in your own personal testing?
Okay, first of all, I never get tilted when I play Lorcana.
Okay.
Game is just happens to be like that, where you can just take good guesses and you get rewarded for it, right? No hard feelings. But as for Beyond the Horizon, honestly, I picked up this deck last night around midnight. I haven't played Green Steel since like set 6, set 7, like early set 7. I've been playing a lot of other purple decks and red blue. So I just wanted to play Green Steel today because it's a good on the play deck. I was told I was going to be on the play, so yeah, just wanted to give it a shot. Probably never touching it again.
Brutal.
All right.
Yeah.
But there was another play that came to mind. The turn where you quested the Prince John with the Hidden Cove with the Zeus. What was there? You just want to get that lore? What was your thought process going through there on that turn? If you can recall that. I think it was
honestly my brain wasn't working. I totally forgot. I thought he could Zeus the location. That totally escaped my mind. But yeah, I got hard punished for it, and yeah, that's just how life goes.
Hey, everyone forgets every now and then. I'm glad you just admit, hey, sometimes you just slip, just slip, just a little memory slip, no big deal. But now you know, and now you can take the green steel and chunk it all the way into the stratosphere if you would like to do. But Garrett, you got anything for Chris? Anything that you observed from your position here in the booth?
No, I mean, I guess the main question was the Beyond the Horizon, but it seems like you haven't been doing a ton of testing with this specific list. Have you been testing against it? Has it been a strong card when it's played against you? Is it something you fear in the Emerald Steel matchup?
No, because I think a lot of the decks that are built right now are kind of have to be a little bit resilient to like the high roll of Beyond the Horizon, like Prince John type of things. And if you're not playing a deck that can like double spell or go wide against it, to potentially like fight back the Muses or fight back the Prince John, while your opponent has like 18 cards in hand after doing the Beyond the Horizon thing, then I don't know how you're gonna win against that. So I think a lot of the decks right now are built to at least somewhat beat it, either with like the steel cards or with like Ursula, Deceiver to like maybe potentially rip it before they can get to that high roll position. But yeah, that's like kind of the strategy that I've been playing.
Okay.
As of late.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sounds good. Sounds good. But you didn't get it done this time, Chris. But it's gonna. I mean, you got your teammates. I think they can pick
Yeah.
up the slack maybe and get this thing back turned around. But Braden got the dub this time. Braden, I understand you got some Game Boys, man. You got anything you want to flex real quick? You got any high
Oh
value
yeah,
Game Boys on standby? You can show the
I
world
got, I got.
before.
Can you see all this? I don't
Hold
know
on,
if you can
Luke.
see on-
Luke, can we share? Can we share the Game Boys to the real quick, just so we can see them? Okay. Okay. Still in the
Oh,
boxes. Okay. Estimated retail value. Anything that jumps
oh,
off the
these are like.
page?
This is a Game Boy Light, so it has a built-in blacklight. It's like only in Japan, and in box is like a few $100s. It's like my pride and joy. And this is a printer. You can print off your Pokemon when you play Yellow. So yeah,
Let's
some cool
go.
stuff.
Let's go.
Sweet.
That's pretty
It's a
cool, man.
printer. Like you
Yeah.
can
Yeah, I have the
print
printer,
it
and I
on?
actually have the paper for it, which is like kind of a weird thing to have. I went to a place that was next to a Nintendo like repair facility in the 80s. It doesn't exist anymore, but like they went through the dumpsters when they closed it, and they found a whole bunch of this stuff, and they had paper, so I bought a whole bunch of paper while I was there, which is like really fucking
Look at
cool.
that,
Oh,
man.
sorry, that was bad. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I got really excited about Game Boys. That's my bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Hey,
Game
we like
loss.
to
Okay.
share all the hobbies here. But thank you guys again for playing. Again, huge congratulations to you, Braden, for your victory. So we're going to toss it to you for any special shout outs that you want to give or anything you want to say. The floor is yours. Then we'll kick it over to Chris to do the same thing.
I just want to shout out the Loungers. It's a great team. We had 2 people in top 4 at the Inc. Invitational, and that's like something I'm just really proud of. And we all work together, try to improve the game, and we play a lot. And yeah, it's just I'm really proud of everyone who's been putting the time in, and you see the results. And that's one of the great things about Lorcana is there's like you don't get man screwed out of top 8, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put in the work as a team, you can see the results. And I think that's kind of amazing.
Absolutely. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, we'll kick it over to you, Chris. Anything you want to say? The floor is yours. You can say whatever you want. Okay, anything at all. No questions asked.
No, I got a filter. No, kidding. Firstly, shout out to my team Tian. You can find us on YouTube and Twitter at TianHuTCG. Shout out to Ed for giving me this mat. You know, big ups to him. And then yeah, I mean, yeah, great game. Braden, that was really fun. What else is there to shout out? Oh, shout out to my team members. We're gonna take this back.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
Let's go.
We'll see about that.
right.
And
For
thanks
sure, for
thanks for the games.
Absolutely. Well, you guys go ahead and cheer on your respective teams. We're gonna hop back over to the booth and take care. We'll see you guys around on the next one. All right, Garrick. There it is, and just like that, I'm back. I did last round, Garrick. Garrick didn't make it back. Are you here with me, Garrick?
I'm here. I'm back
he
in the
made it.
booth. I'm back in the building.
In the building. Yo, that was a quick man. It was a quick game. It was a quick match.
In and out.
Emerald Steel can be like that. Like I said, it is probably one of the most volatile mirrors that exists. Sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. Type beats nonstop, but it is what it is. But Garrick, I would love to do more broadcasting with you, man. You You got a great voice. I love hanging out with you. Had
Thank you,
had an
thank you.
amazing time this weekend. Oh my goodness, so much fun. Okay, and I know you
Yeah.
got some great projects that are coming out in the next couple of days. I don't know if you want to leak too much or share anything about that or promote that, but I'm gonna kick it over to you for your shout outs, your time. The floor is yours, Garrett. Pontificate wildly.
Yeah, tomorrow, hopefully. If not tomorrow, then definitely Friday. I have the entire story of Disney Lorcana from Shimmering Skies to Reign of Jafar coming out. That was like my first video that I really did on my channel, the Lorcana Layer, and it is my biggest video to date. The original from first chapter to Ursula's Return. The community really loved it. It's over 40,000 views right now. So I said for the next one, it's got to be bigger. It's got to be better. It's more than twice the length. I'm collaborating with many, many different content creators, which I will not leak right now.
Okay.
But we are doing some really cool stuff that I think the community is going to absolutely love. I think this is some of my best work ever on YouTube. Not even including my other YouTube channel, Key Issues, which I've been doing for 10 years. I think this is one of my best videos that I've ever produced, at least so far, and I'm really, really excited for people to see it. But yeah, hopefully it'll be out tomorrow. Be on the lookout for it. If you're interested in the story of Disney Lorcana, the lore, the story behind the cards themselves, definitely check it out.
I'm so excited to tune in. Make sure you tag me, link me. My notification bell is going to go off. But I saw a little sneak peek. I'm not going to leak anything else, but it was very, very good, Garrett. I am like over the moon impressed with your talent and your capability. But Garrett, we got more ICL coming up. I wish I could stay here with you the whole time, but I know you got stuff to do. But give some more shout outs to yourself. Anything else you want to plug or mention? I know we got Ink coming up in September. You want to talk about that or whatever you got going on, and then before and say your goodbyes.
Yeah, we do have the Ink Open. It's no longer an invitational. Anyone can show up if you'd like to sign up. It is a $10,000 tournament. It will be cash prizing. Most likely, we're going to do a day 2 on Sunday, which will be 128 players. We are letting Kurt Spice take the lead on that. So we're hashing out details. Obviously, he's busy with Worlds, but as soon as he's done with that, we'll get some more concrete information on the day 2 tournament, which hopefully I can play in. But yeah, if you want to show up, come out here in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area. We're trying to get bigger and better every single time, and we're trying to put on some great tournaments for the community. So the Ink Open, if you're interested in that, hit me up. I can send you a link. You can sign up. Shout out to the team Ink, of course. We had 2 players get top 8 at the Ink Invitational over the weekend, and look at JDZ pulling out the mat. It looks a little weird because of the green screen.
The green
screen. Yeah, we are excited to be in the ICL next season. We're going to be right here, and we are going to be in the playoffs, and we're going to be taking you teams down. So be on the lookout for Ink, baby. We're coming.
Yeah, I got this as a gift. This is former. I should have got it signed by Garrett. This is Garrett's personal mat that he gave to me as a little gift. Or I stole it. Don't tell him I stole it, but it's you
didn't steal it. I gave it to you.
Okay.
It's all yours.
Next time we meet, I'm gonna bring this back and I'll get the whole Ink team to sign this. And
I will. Yeah, you got to trade me a JDZ playmat.
That's too easy. I got to get one made first, and then we'll make that happen.
Yeah, I think that's the deal. So yeah, we're gonna be in the ICL season 2. We're coming for all you teams, so you better be on the lookout, and you better be grinding because Ink's coming to take you down. We're coming for the belt, baby. We're coming for that championship trophy, son. Look out for Ink. But yeah, that's it. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Luke for having me on. Always love being on the ICL. It's one of my favorite things to do. Shout out to you, JDZ. Love casting with you every single time. You're a great partner. And shout out to all the other casters for the ICL. The talent here is amazing, from the players to the judges to the casters to production. Shout out to Luke. And shout out to the ICL in general. Rod is in the back. White Breezy, what's up? Shout out to everybody involved.
That's cool.
And shout out to Katie, who's going to be casting with JDZ right now and taking my spot.
Let's go. Let's go, Katie. You're muted. Oh, yeah. And Katie's muted.
JDZ said several times, man, I wish I could keep casting with Garrick. I mean, man, if I could cast them all night. And Garrick's like, I guess I have to leave. So I feel bad.
No,
But I'm
Katie.
here. So,
Listen,
that's what you get. Okay, you get what you get. You don't throw a fit,
Katie,
unfortunately.
that is absolutely not true. Everyone. It's
Everyone?
always a joy. It's a pleasure. It's a
good.
pleasure.
It's
The
okay.
time I have with Garrick, the time I have with you, it's the
I
time I
mean,
have
you
with everyone.
can't. It's hard not to be excited to hang out with Garrick. Garrick is.
It's very exciting to hang out with you, Katie. You're bearing the lead here. Okay.
Thank you. I was
Thank
just
you. There it
recently
is.
on a show. It was called JDZ Quests, and it was pretty good. I got beat up by Bannable, which I saw coming, and I survived.
Nope.
I put up a fight. I don't think anybody could say I didn't put up a fight. I played my fight song, took
You
back
did.
my right song.
And Bannibal's deck is low key, absolutely insane, crack, busted bananas. I don't know what he's talking about. His deck is insane. Okay,
Yeah,
Katie.
and
No one's beating Bannible. It's not gonna happen because he's a good player.
So we have a little bit of things to talk about. We could talk about how I could be like, no, say some nice things about me, but we're done with that. Okay, we've already done that. Now we're talking about what's on the screen. And what's on the screen? What's on the screen here is an event that sorry, it was blurry. And the thing is, I made this flyer, but I didn't memorize it. That would be a lot to have somebody memorize an entire flyer. But you might know that there is no place like Nebraska. And why is that? Because there's going to be a double 1K weekend in Omaha, Nebraska. Now, for our viewers at home, you might not know this. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. I spent 26 years there. Krypton Comics used to go there all the time. And that's not why they're having this tournament, but it is one of the reasons I'm very excited to be casting it, because this is the stomping grounds of what I call the Nebraska sleeper cell. There in Nebraska, everybody is sleepy, and they're like, listen, we don't have to tend to fields anymore because agriculture's dead. Plants come from factories, whatever. So instead, people in Nebraska are thinking about playing Lorcana. So I even put on the flyer, there's Sky. Sky lives in Nebraska. I think he even lives in Omaha now. That's not really doxing. I mean, go find him, I guess. But either way, that's his stomping ground. We got the Brants. There's 3 of them. There's a father Brant, a son Brant, and another Brant that's a son as well. And then Luke, and then some of the Ink Knight folks are playing around there.
Okay.
So, and I think we might have a Sunflower Illumineer coming. So basically, Omaha. It's right in the center. So honestly, if you're within 6 hours, just get over here. And there's going to be 2 days. We have Saturday the 21st and then Sunday the 22nd. So this is right before Worlds. Everybody can get their appetite wet with some meta fun, because as we all know, Worlds is going to be meta adjacent. It's going to be meta inspired. It's going to be meta, meta will come up, but Worlds will not be the meta meltdown, I think, because the 3-deck, triple deck format, as well as the sealed of it all. So I think this will be a fun way to kind of think about the meta a little bit before we get into Worlds. There's a guaranteed $1,000 for each event with a scalable prize pool of up to $2,100 each day, for the potential of $4,200 up for cash given out. So pre-registration, there is a melee, and Luke will be dropping that in the chat. However, you can also call just to be like, I'm real, just because, it's nice. It's nice. It's hard to call people, but don't worry, the people at Krypton are nice. They'll probably tell you the best place to get lunch while you're there. I'm sure they're going to say Schlotsky's, because I think there's a Schlotsky's nearby, because it's on 72nd. It's on Center. Either way, 125th and Center, I believe. So either way, I'll give you directions. It'll be fun. I won't be there, which is the sad part, because I'm all like, Nebraska, but I'll be in the booth. And and so I'm assembling the team. It's gonna be like the Avengers. I can't be Luke, can't be JDZ, so it's gonna be not those 2 people, but keep your ear out if you're a person that casts. I'm gonna be going. Hey.
That was some. That's a pretty great promotion there. I'm excited.
Yeah, and it's exciting because think about it. It's Nebraska. People don't think about it, but it is. People are there and they're playing cards. I mean, Luke came out of there. Out of nowhere, a Luke appeared. So think about that, Genesis.
Shout out to Nebraska. Shout out to Nebraska. I wish I could come. I wish I could be a part of it.
I know.
I've never been to Nebraska.
But you're going to be going to the Disney. You're pre-gaming. You're pre-gaming the world to Disney World.
I'm taking my trip to Disney World, and I will be hanging out with Mickey Mouse at the Magic Kingdom. I'll be kicking it at Epcot, walking around the circle of death, as we call it. I'll be.
What is the circle of death? What do we call the circle? What is that?
The area in Epcot with all the nations in
Oh,
the
that's
circle?
called the World Esplanade. Thank you very much.
The world what?
It's World Showcase, and that's the
Nope.
Esplanade. That
The world showcase. I call it the circle of death. Okay.
yeah.
Because
All
it's
right.
just
Wow.
it's just you out there struggling. But I think the players are ready. I think we're good, Katie. I think it's time to lock
You
in and engage. This
can
is the ICL on a Wednesday. Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked. Tian is down, but they are not out. As
No.
the Rafiki, Crash Out Rafiki, I call him, is going to go down to an Inkwell with a McDuck Manor into a popsicle on 1.
Yeah, which when you see those two things together, you go, "Oh no." I think that's what I do. It's kind of what's coming. It's probably one of two things, and we will find out next turn. But Iago, he's not sweating it. He's coming down here with a good old Smee. So
Good old Smee on 2. I'm actually kind of disappointed that Cranderson, aka Chris Anderson, is not playing Amber and Amethyst. I thought that would be something that we would get seen today, and that's what he's kind of known for, at least in my own professional opinion. But he's going to do something different. Maybe get a ramp on 2. It's going to be
you gotta
Tebow.
ramp. You gotta ramp on two if you have it available.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
And it does pull off the Tipo, who is going to be able to kind of do something to this Smee, maybe. I don't know. Smee is going to do his thing. Maybe not questing the Smee is correct these days. You got to be very careful, as we will just fire the cannons onto the Tipo. Do you quest here?
I mean, at this point, Tipo has been left the building. Let's get some lore. We know that things are going to get very punishing here.
Yeah.
Before you know it, I mean, he's already got 3 ink. We're on our way to basically punish City. And I think at this point, I'm trying to get lore. That Calhoun is unfortunately not super great in this matchup because she doesn't really have a lot to eat, but she can work with some other characters.
And there is that
in this
setup
case,
pun. Oh, the super goof is what I was alluding to. Why you can't really quest anymore, because these Ruby Sapphire players are all in on super goof, and you have the ability to potentially get some healing. I don't know if that's what you're going to do, because Calhoun will still be able to challenge and banish it for free.
Yeah, so I do have an issue. That is one of those characters where that man, if someone asked me $100, does he have evasive? I would say absolutely, but he doesn't. He's firmly grounded in a non-evasive world. So that is the good news. Is Calhoun didn't have really anything to beat up on, and now finally she's like, okay, well, and that gets up to 5 lore. So it is a good way to start. Can he recover from it? Because we do know with 4 cards in hand, a popsicle on board, the world is Chris's oyster. So he does have to stabilize.
Oh, we got a nice chain here of Smee into a dock. No effect though, 1 card in hand, so that's probably gonna be another dock. But now can you put together a Goofy into Maui going into your 5th ink turn to punish this Calhoun? And that's the back and forth gamesmanship that people tune into when you want to see some high profile digital kind of action. If the Maui come down and challenge and banish this Calhoun, maybe even with a heal, you're going to be back, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll be medium back. We'll be back or we won't be back. Pending review.
Handbag.
Remember
handbag.
I will be honest. I was working on a year reflection because this is my 1-year anniversary of the Lore Keepers Inn, and I was like looking at my favorite clips, and handbag was in there. It's handbag. But either way, are we going to see this? No. We're going to instead bounce that dock back, which is also a great play. Get some characters out there, get something nice to bounce back. And do we have the ink to deploy them? I guess not. If you only had 1 card in hand, then unfortunately.
I would much rather have that handbag be a Maui though in that situation, as the half shark is going to be down. Maybe you got Iago is going to greed up and hold along came Zeus for this situation. We got a little bit of glare. That is a Maui half shark that's established onto the field of play. Do you have the Zeus? Either you have it or you don't. Your entire turn will be stifled here for the next coming turn.
Yeah, and that you said that is a Maui half shark that just came down in that beautiful. And if anybody has seen Emperor's New Groove, currently that card is going. That's I think that scene that we are seeing on that playmat. But we do see the dock deployed. Get some cards, and right off the top, love to see it. Or you don't if you are a shark player.
If you are Chris Anderson, you are hating to see that, because the dock chain into 2 bodies into the strength with a singer available is one of the most bad feeling that you're going to encounter in all of this Lorcana. We have the handbag that is up. We're not getting any bag value though. Handbag. Let me pull this thing up for those at home who may not know what handbag does. We don't have the card thing up.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it's where you exert it and you pay 1 ink and you return an item card from your discard to your hand, which to me, Crab does that. So I am interested to see. It's 5 uninkable, so it's pretty expensive. So I'd be interested in the post to be like, what's going on there? That's an expensive piece of real estate to be putting in your deck.
For sure, just to be able to loop and gain some draws. So you're going to cost you an ink, but the Hades, the Infernal Schemer, as the light just changed there, coming in from Cran, who has the Schemer, who's scheming. Let's see who we're going to send down to the Inkwell, face down and exert it.
Yeah, he's scheming, but he also might be dreaming, because at the end of the day, this unless he has a Be Prepared coming up, he has to do spot removal here. Now, that being said, no, not even a Sisu would be good. So I mean, at this point, he's got to count on some removal here pretty quickly, because otherwise it's going to be a rough journey back. So he have to be prepared?
You need no Pete here. If you can survive that, if you can get no Pete coming off the top right now, if you are Fran, step 1, don't get Peated, because I'd hate to draw Be Prepared into a potential Pete situation.
That's a good point, because you can draw Be Prepared, but then you just sit and stare at it and be like, be nice to do that.
I'm glad I'd play Pete and hope you draw the Be Prepared, because you are questing quite heavily. You're at 16 now. As you put 2 more characters in, and you're going to say Pete is not real. You don't have it. Be Prepared is not real off the top. You got a couple of chances to get to it if you can do this carpet bag situation.
All right, he didn't quickly turn it, because that's when he didn't quest right away with Hades, which is my number 1 fear playing against this deck. When you see them be like, let me just quest really quick. I'm like, why are you doing that, please?
I mean, Hades is 7 cost, so you can actually sing the Be Prepared too if you really, really want to get loose and nasty with it. I think you might want to leave that Hades up if you don't have to Be Prepared, and get that carpet bag bag up that carpet bag and get a couple more rips with this popsicle before you commit to whatever this situation is. Pop the popsicle, carpet bag up, get another rip in there.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, you can pop the popsicle for free, but the recursion part. So yeah, it looks like he's electing to do a Maui and just start challenging. Luckily, not a lot of beefy bodies here, and with the healing, suddenly, he's going to be able to get some value out of that popsicle without popping it for free, and hopefully get to a card. He still got Lortha.
And he got it. What is that? He got it. Maybe he had it all along. As he did get to the Be Prepared, you do lose your Maui in that situation. So maybe you could have gambled a bit and did the carpet bag mambo before you did the Maui, and you'd had a nice Maui to fight back with post Be Prepared. So 1 card in hand, you went all in, and it got punished immediately from Iago's perspective. As we're going to continue to carpet bag up, now it's getting some good value, able to just generate 1 card per turn at the cost of 1 ink.
Yeah, and I think seeing that he's digging here, I mean, he needs to keep looking for answers, because at the end of the day, Iago has the kind of deck where it can work pretty economically. If we get something that, maybe draw a card, do some lore gang with a go, like he can kind of hang in, especially if Chris doesn't find anything super spectacular from this point forward, if he just draws all his T-pos. But there are some pretty meaty evil cards, especially a Manor would be pretty devastating to just kind of sit there and generate lore. But he does have 2 cards in hand moving into 3.
Oh, that's a Strength of Raging Fire he just drew. You can always tell the snap, draw, hold is just a key indicator that that's a Strength of Raging Fire off the tizzy going into Iago's hand. Just the way he slammed that thing down, 100% Strength of Raging Fire is in hand, confirmed, like a Don King perm. As we just continue to just keep developing our brain and taking this time off, your opponent is not putting any pressure on you, allowing you to just gain more resources and build your armory of removal. I'm sure you're grabbing all removal here.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the name of the game, is ideally doing removal where he can keep building his board and then doing some spot removal on the other side, because he needs to build up a board. Now, this is a good start. Go to 4, bring it down to 16, or 14 rather, which is going to help kind of claw back the pressure. He's going to have 3 cards in hand, so it slaps down that hook, which makes me believe that, his strength. He's like, I need strength. I have strength, no strength.
And that Captain Hook is looking real silly here. Not gonna lie, you got we're 8 turns into this thing. We got all this ink floating around, and you slam this Captain Hook here with nobody to even get into. It feels quite miserable.
It does.
Sisu is also available. The carpet bag is actually getting a little bit of residual income as you're getting a card extra each turn at the cost of 2 ink. Feels kind of good. And the Sisu comes in right on time, able to remove this Captain Hook. Where are the goats, man? Where are the cobras? Where are those cool cards?
Huddling together for warmth because Yelena's like, "Did you need me?" It's like, "No, Yelena, I need a friend here. This is not the right time." So, it's not there, as you said. I don't hear any bell, but I do hear, a processional towards the bell, because it is going to be a long journey where pretty much every card that Chris draws is probably going to be annoying compared to Iago, which has some cards that just simply don't do enough at this point in the game.
I concur with that mightily. As the Yelena, this card is kind of growing on me. I'm looking at Yelena and I'm very interested, as we are going to brawl the Yelena as quick as she came. She left, and the quest for 3 with the Sisu. So this game is starting to slowly start to turn around. You need a goat into something. You need to wear the cobras and the goats and all that. White Rose, where's that stuff? Maybe you're not playing that. You're probably more of the mid-range version, it seems, with Docs.
You could not pay me to run a deck without a goat. I need it. It's my comfort knowing that I'm like, listen, at least I can get one lore just as a treat. But I believe this man just said, I have 3 cards. None of them are playable, which does lead to the theory that there's a strength. Are there 3 strengths in there?
There are probably multiple strengths in the hand at this point, because that is the only card that you just, I don't know how many cards that you, because if it's friends, you're ripping it. If it's anything else, you're putting on the field. There is no card that you would just stack over in the side of your hand as we got the Tamatoa. This game is turning, Katie. Chris Anderson is starting to feel the vibes as the Tamatoa, happy as a clam, is up and active. Popsicles are flowing. Carpet bag is bagging. And this is just an absolute, it's comeback central right now, as Iago has been stifled completely. Just drawing some bricks. I'd be really interested to see what those 3 cards are in hand.
Yeah, and he had a pretty nice stable start where he was able to, kind of be like, look, I got all this stuff. Now, I did see someone, Tegan mentioned, did he overexert by putting those Chernobyls down? Was that a win more situation where if he could have just said, hey, I'll play those Chernobyls later? He went very wide into a deck that loves playing such masterful things as Be Prepared. But in this case, he says, listen, I got some cool cards, and I think we're going on to... Nope, he's not. He just wanted to show off his discard. Sorry, I got confused.
Right. We were able to get through that Sisu at least, but it still might be a bit too little, a bit too late, as Brawl is going crazy. Carpet bag is carpet bagging like insane, as we are going to quest and be able to put the popsicle down for free as well. So we're retaining a little bit of ink in the process. I think Chris is in a complete command and control of the game. The resources are just too plentiful, and you kind of expunge your entire hand. I think one of those were strength, and I think it was a fire to cannons in there as well. So,
yeah, and I mean, at this point, we have a crab sitting in the manor just taunting. Like, it's always so terrible when a card that's, like, upsetting is also sitting on a card that's upsetting. Now, Genie is nice. Genie will get you 1 card, but it better be a really good card. And he slaps it down and says, I can't play it, so... because he can't ink. So this is a rough position to be in, especially because now... when he passes back to Chris, he's crawling up to 16, and he's in a very, very, very good.
What cost that much? Oh, double pirate. Oh,
okay, and that'll do it with double pirates. He says the math.
Wow.
That equals 20, and you, my friend, got close but not close enough. So that was pretty painful if you're Iago, watching yourself drift back into the ocean.
Absolutely, and that's one of those games where you had it. I felt like you were in a nice, comfortable spot. You were doing that. The things that Amethyst Steel does, and you got to the point where you committed all your characters to the board, and it was be prepared or bust, and they be prepared, and they did not bust. And you didn't Pete, you didn't Snake, you didn't Goat, you didn't do any of the things that Amethyst Steel does to win the game at the end. Your deck kind of just failed to function down the stretch, and that just sucks. Now I really do. I've been on both sides, and I'm sure you can attest to that as well.
You did say doo-doo, and doo-doo is probably how it felt, because at the end of the day, you want to draw cards. He wasn't being able to do that. That Chernobog, he lost 2 opportunities to draw off of that. And yeah, just having strength no people. Now, this is one reason I personally am a fan of the library. To me, it's kind of like a free real estate situation, where if you have that library, you have all these little guys that are likely going to be banished pretty early, pretty often. So sometimes the library can be nice to at least get a little bit of benefit, because as we saw, Chris sat and didn't play a card for a couple turns. So you wonder if he had something generating those cards. Could he have maybe a Diablo perchance? Because we didn't see that either. So card draw might be his weak point in this deck, but we're about to see. Maybe that was just a rough go, and we're gonna see it vibrate.
It could
fantastically, as you say.
Vibrate spectacularly, vibrate
Yes.
magnificently.
Yeah.
It could pop off, but just, now that I'm kind of seeing the deck kind of play out, we understand you got those Captain Hooks in there. You have those Rafikis are in there. You have some number of Fire the Cannons are in your deck. So maybe you built this deck to play against like the Green Steel or get into some board fighting situation, and you end up against probably the matchup that typically is one of your better matchups. And now you had to get some points away from your better matchup to play against to maybe shore up some of your worst matchups. And I think that could be the because you got the Yelenas in there, you have crabs, you have all these types of things.
Yeah.
I don't think you can fit the snakes, and excuse me, the giant cobras and the white roses and all those types of things. So interesting. We'll see how that shapes out.
Well, I mean, it's a good point to point out. Iago's deck is named anti-meta, so I think we've already kind of uncovered the hint here that he says, I'm anti-meta, but would you consider Ruby Sapphire the meta right now? And I don't think it is always going to be a problem. I don't think, well, not always, but it certainly has been a problem for a while. But yeah, when you say I built an anti-meta deck, would you consider Ruby Sapphire a pro meta deck?
I think it's a meta deck, but it does not contain the significant meta share that it typically does. I think if you're building an anti-meta deck, it better be able to be Amber Steel, and I think this deck would absolutely rock and roll Amber Steel. Just looking at it right now, it's got some meaty units in here, but unfortunately, these units might not be able to engage with the McDuck burn shark deck, and I mean, possibly again, I don't know, but I guarantee they curtailed this thing or built this thing with a design to go after Amber and Steel. I would say it's turn one out on one.
Yeah, and we can say that Iago did miss his turn one. He did not have a character. He didn't play anything until that Smee. So, I mean, that was one tempo loss, or possibly if he had a Chernobog, that could have been a card. And here we're about to see, is he going to hit ramp on 2? Because that's also a very important thing to not miss. So Iago's deck is humming along, but now we're about to see, can Chris's deck match him step for step? But I mean, if you don't have turn on ramp on 2, you can't play. You have to scoop, right? That's the rule.
Ramp on 2 is mandatory in this deck. I think you send your hand very aggressively to get that ramp on 2, and you do hit it in the form of Sail. You did put that Develop Your Brain down into the Inkwell. Typically, that's a card that people hang on to in order to play that post Sail, but Popsicle is a little bit better, as you'll be able to just keep that card instead of just cycling 2 cards, send it back to the bottom of the deck and whatnot. As Smee is up and active, maybe he can go for another 6. He went strong last time, but you got punished by the Super Goof. Let's see if you fall into the same traps again.
Yeah, and it's hard to play around cards like that, especially in a matchup where you know that there is a window. You want to be patient. You don't want to feed your opponent, but at the same time, you don't want to sit on your cards and then wait till they're unusable and you never quested. So it is not the easiest call, and it's always hindsight is 2020 because you're like, you know what, I'm afraid of Super Goof, and then Super Goof's like, I'm not even in the hand. So in this case, he is going to go ahead and quest, and will he crack that Chernobog in favor of giving that easy Super Goof target? And he says no.
No. So if you got the Goof, you got a decision that you need to make, either the Smee or the Chernobog. Either way, Yelena can come back over the top with the elbow drop off the top rope and clear, as you do go ahead and dunk on the Smee. But never mind, we got double pop to heal to complete, and it will take both of your characters. And Super Goof is going out swinging. He'll take the Chernobog, and maybe you got another crab that you can put onto the Yelena and be able to take out the Super Goof cleanly.
Or Yelena on Yelena. Yelena and her twin sister Yelena perhaps could work together here. But either way, yes, that math does make it frustrating because Super Goof, he's like a super goat in a way where you're able to get the challenge, get that lore bounce, and then if you have popsicles, there's no downside. So it can be frustrating. So now it's that time where, do you have any removal you could throw out as a little treat?
A Super Goof clearing a quested Smee is a very good feeling. As the Yelena, you called it. Look at that.
Yelena and her best friend Yelena.
As we go Yelena on Yelena combat and take out, and we got another ink. We'll blast out the Rafiki. So yeah, you're all in on just getting loose with the board, boosting your characters, and fighting aggressively. This is not the matchup for this deck. I can just assume Iago was hating to see this Ruby Sapphire as the opponent.
Yeah, because we all know there's this emergency eject button. It's not coming for a while. We're good. We're sitting comfortable. But Iago has been spending some time challenging, and he now needs to shift gear into trying to get some value because we know Chris, especially the more you bully a Ruby Sapphire deck, the more they're going to go, I have nothing to lose. And so in this case, he just elects to ink no card on 6.
Oh,
Which means he must have some very menacing cards. That tells me that he's got some real uninkable, terrifying cards in his hand.
Yeah, I'm looking at that lore from Iago. I'm trying to get this thing as beefy as possible. Yelena quested for 2. I forget that card can't quest for 2. So that's a 5-piece coming your way. Getting all the way up to 11. You need to get to your Pete right now. You got to play it. Where are your Pete's at, Big Dog? I think you had to ink one early. I hate to see it for you.
Yeah. And Pete is critical on this turn and kind of stalling the inevitable. Now, it doesn't feel super great because we don't know if he has multiple Be Prepared, but we also know he only has, I'm trying to see how many cards, because you can only go wide so many times, especially in a deck that doesn't have a ton of card draw. But we're getting some here with the with that Genie. But then any moment now, we then have to start worrying about Sisu, which loves to see Genie. She's a huge fan of Genie's work.
Yeah. She's always in right on time. You got to be prepared right into a Genie play, into a Sisu off the top rope. You hate to see it if you are Iago. Maybe you could turn the tides here if you just don't get this thing Sisu'd. As you go for 7 for Hades, that might be just as bad as Genie's not going to get a chance to quest.
Yeah, and that is such a good point where removal because Be Prepared is great. It's the emergency eject button that kind of restarts it, but better than that is the removal where you just sit pretty and you have a body and there's not a ton of things. Ooh, we have a new foil cabinet.
Look at that. What do you think about the new art? Which one do you prefer? I think
the first one. He looks so menacing. He's got like a knife hand. I think he has like I need to look closer, but I'm pretty sure
he's got like a little lantern. Is that Tinkerbell in the lamp?
He has a sword hand instead of a hook. He has so I mean, you can't really beat that. And this new one, he looks kind of like cute, and I don't want him to look cute. I want him to look like please go back. Go back to your ocean where you came from.
I like the hat down, holding the lantern there. As we got the Madam Mim Fox is going to be up and active,
but not active yet.
Not active. She's doing something. She's there. But this Hades, the Infernal Schemer, is like, I do not care. You have enough challenging power to clear this Hades if he does exert, but it's going to cost you a mighty amount as you put out the McDuck Manor. Interesting.
Yeah,
the Manor can fall quite easily.
It's interesting too because you pick the Manor. Now, mind you will not clear the Manor, but it starts making work. And then the Hades says, all right, well, I'm here and I still get a quest and I can punish you back. But then if you go ahead and take the Hades, then I have nothing to lose. I could be prepared. I could do anything I want here. So you really have to pick which one. I always feel like I want to make them the least amount of angry to get the ire of a Be Prepared. But you don't have infinite. We've seen one, but I just assume they have infinite in hand at all times.
So we'll go ahead and send. We'll send all of the damage in. We'll bounce a little Fox Mambo just to clear that Manor. So maybe that is what you wanted all along. As the board state remains the same, maybe we'll put another character into the field of play. I can't tell how many cards you have in hand. It looks like Cranderson is holding on to 4 right now, which is very healthy. I need these Ruby Sapphire players struggling. I need them very impoverished in terms of their resources in hand.
Yes. Oh wow, a Fox to Fox. We had Fox, bounce Fox, bounce Fox.
There's a little bit of Fox Mambo.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a double Fox Mambo, but triple Fox Mongo.
Mongo.
Either way. So yes, to your point, one of the greatest parts of Hiram being sent to retirement was when you play Ruby Sapphire, you're like, okay, you have like 3 hands, or 3 cards. That seems right. But then when I see like 4, I'm like, okay, I thought we all agreed Ruby Sapphire can't have that many cards anymore. We all voted. It's not the 12 that they used to have. That was hard to see, but in this case it's still rough. But we see Tipo go to the Inkwell because why not? Let's get another popsicle. Let's draw more cards. Let's just have fun with it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I thought if you're going to go Fox, maybe you could have just kept the Captain Hook readied and then left him to slam his body into this Hades. Potentially, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I think instead of going Hook into the Manor, just go Fox into the Manor and keep that Captain Hook ready to maybe put some pressure on this Hades Infernal Schemer, because now the Madam M Fox can't really do it effectively because you're going to need another character bounce back to the hand.
Yeah, and I think that's that internal calculation of like, okay, if he didn't play that crab and it was just Hades and he only has silly little things in addition to it, then perhaps he would have never gotten a chance to do anything cool with that Captain Hook. But in this case, it's rough. I only see 2 cards, possibly 3, in Iago's hand, and yeah, Chris is definitely in the driver's seat. I mean, he's down by 9, but without some spectacular card draw and then also some terrible card draws from Chris, it's going to be a long fight back from this.
Yeah, this is going to be uphill, very, very in a very, very bad way. Just looking at the deck, you have like cards that just really aren't doing too much, like a Fire the Cannons in this situation. You're like, why is this in my deck? Oh my god!
It just fires off his like forehead, and he's like, hey.
I guess you could. Oh, look at that little combinations there. As Crab's going to be able to empower the Fox, who's going to take down the Hades. So I ain't heard no bell. Hand is so massive. There's just so much juice in there. You just know some shenanigans coming your way. We have not seen a Shark just yet. We have not seen any Mauis. We haven't seen any of those cards we come to know and love. Is this the carpet bag? Oh, it's the carpet bag.
Why not? You know, I like that I said, I don't understand the carpet bag. He said, let me show you why I play the carpet bag.
I'll give you a nice little presentation on carpet bag technology. As the bag do be bagging, you'll be able to get another popsicle loop, and the resources are plentiful, and a bounty is coming your way.
And I want to give credit to Iago, because Iago's done an incredible amount of removal using a Fox NATO essentially over there. But the problem is you can't loop forever. Eventually they start being banished and you don't get them back. You can only bounce so long. Against Manners it works, but I think that's the downside, is every time he kept grinding and grinding against those characters, he lost a couple, and now just a crab by himself. We're going to need some firepower here.
With the endless loop of bags, maybe another Yelena can come in, or maybe another crab can empower this crab to clear that crab. Just a bunch of crab on crab action. Stay tuned, keep it locked, don't touch that dial. You like crabs? Well, guess what? I got crabs for days. We got
I got crab. You heard it here first.
Crustacean boil. If you send crab here to empower this crab to clear that crab, I think you almost have to do it, but maybe you're playing right into the game.
He went to 25. It's to 30. It's to 32. What's happening?
There's a lot of lore there. He must have
found the. Do you know that card that gets you up to 32 instantaneously? I'm not familiar with it, but we found it.
There must be a slight typo there.
Or Luke fell asleep on the keyboard, because Iago did go down to 0 simultaneously.
Oh my goodness! Shout out to production.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out. But either way,
it might be the players. We'll have to see what those players are cooking over there. Get that lore back into a nice comfortable range, and we'll get back down to 9. And what is Iago?
He 11? He went down by 2. I think he was at 10. I want to say, because I think he was at 12 and he went down to 10. But yeah, someone in the chat said 32 seems right. That seems like, I think they're like, I did the math. That looks about right. So we are adjusting. Our judges are actually have an impenetrable memory, so some of
the best judges, man. They're locked in.
Who's better? No one.
Yeah, they got to figure it out. I'm certain. As the bag is bagging, that is Merlin's carpet bag. If you're just tuning in, it's an uninkable 5-cost sapphire item that says pay 1 ink, exert this card. You can play 1 or add 1 item from your discard back to your hand. So you can just loot popsicles with that thing and just get a nice little return on your investment to gain a little bit of lore. It's kind of slow, but when you play for free with Tamatoa Happy as a Clam, as demonstrated, it seems quite good.
And we've seen this with another card that makes me kind of similar but different is Great Stone Dragon, where people are like, it's slow, it's expensive. But in these Ruby Sapphire games, especially if you're going to play a longer game, suddenly the investment is a little bit better. But, obviously Great Stone Dragon, no effect on entry. You need to have things in your discard. But if you're going to be playing a 20-minute game, then you're probably going to get some value. And as we've seen both games, he has achieved that value. So I can see why people be hesitant at it. But in this case, it is working. And I believe, is Tomas on the Loungers? Maybe? No, he's on Backseat Genius, or either way. But I just didn't know if there's like a sleepy item crew where they're like, hey, everybody, pick your favorite sleepy item and we're going to make it surge.
I like that sleepy item. I think that's a good take. As we bring out the Madam M Fox again, you're sending these foxes on in for Queen and Country. And I think you can clear this Tamatoa Happy as a Clam. It is going to be banished to the discard pile. You have 3 more ink left. You put the crab back out, and I think you will. Just set yourself up for another crabbing later on. 3 cards in hand. This is definitely a very favorable position for Chris Anderson, if I had to call it. I do not think that Iago might not have the resource, especially if you're not getting those Petes and you're not getting the heavy quests and characters down. You're sitting at 11, you don't have that reach. That's kind of how they finish these games off. I don't see a clear path to victory, Katie. Do you see something that that Iago can do?
He can hope Chris doesn't get anything good for the rest of the game. But him
Mhm.
sailing makes you think, I mean, because these items, you're like, okay, does he have Tomatoa so shiny? It doesn't appear, at least it's not on board. And I will note that these kind of decks right now, there's so many different variations where Iago is not done until it's done, just because he doesn't know what he's going to slap down. Maybe it's just Tipo City all the way down. For example, Maui, cool, but not going to win the game.
Yeah.
So he might win just due to the deck being like, I'm done showing you good cards. But we shall see. He does have 4 cards, and I can't believe that they'd all be 4 unusable cards.
For sure. Maybe they could potentially be like some hideaways or something like that, or some like I said, Tipos and sales and things of that sort that just really don't get it done. Super Goose could just be all up in the hand as well. As we go Goat and Doc, so we are playing Goats.
Thank
I ain't heard no
goodness.
bell. We're back. We are
We did
back.
hear a goat, but goat. I don't know. Maybe that's how they sound.
As Doc came down, but did Doc trigger his ability? I don't think Doc was able to
No.
draw because there's too many cards in hand.
Yeah, he said, I need these, which makes me believe that there's 2 docs because, as we know, docs, they travel in packs. They cannot be by themselves. They must have friends. And that is the worst thing you see. When you have a Maui, you're like, I literally have nothing to lose but this one man. Be prepared. Get out of here. And so he does gain a lore, but now what's in that hand? Is it another doc? He's going to slap something down with a doc, draw 2 cards?
For sure. You know that is about to happen. If your opponent, that's a good little indicator. If your opponent plays a doc for no value, there's a very high likelihood that they have at least one other copy of Doc in the hand. So you can bet your bottom dollar you're going to have a huge Doc turn. As we ink the Smee, play a Pete finally, play the Doc finally. Oh, we're back. We're back. Do you have any more pressure? 2 Quester.
Why not?
No 2 Quester. You have the Rafiki, who is just looking to get Sea-Suit, man. This guy just loves being Sea-Suit.
He does.
Smokes.
He's a very vintage throwback kind of card because back in the day where people were running Teeth and Ambition to just say Cindy on sight, which is an anti-meta deck. So it kind of makes sense where, give something to be like, if I see you, Cindy, if I see you, I'm coming for you. But in this case, he said, I don't really need actions. I have them. It's in the card.
Yeah. And you kind of felt it was coming. And because you had to ask yourself what was in the hand that Cranderson has not been playing. And that was one of those cards that
he said, I'll wait.
You pretty much guarantee would be there. Be prepared. And a Sisu, who got pretty good value there out of the Crash Out Rafiki. And we'll put the Calhoun out as well. Again, this matchup is not for Calhoun. This matchup is not for the hooks and the Crash Out Rafikis. You need those Cobras here in this position, and the right roses and the bounces and all that kind of stuff. Very annoying.
Now, why is he a Crash Out? Does he have like an emotional outburst at an opportune time?
No, he just anybody who has Challenger, I think they just crash out. I think
That's
they just
true.
that's how I feel. I feel like they're just causing a ruckus if you're in there challenging people.
That's
Like, 'cause
true.
you're cool at first, and then you just crash out, like you explode violently. Is what that's what it is. Like out of nowhere, you're like, oh yeah.
Sunset 1, beef with
Yeah.
Rafiki, because we had Rush Rafiki, then we had coming at you with a staff Rafiki. So I've had beef with Rafiki since first chapter. So let's get him out of here. Let's rotate. What is he?
No,
Set
he's
3, you 2, get out.
He's out here. He gone. All right then, Rafiki. Thanks for playing. Thanks for
So
playing.
this is not the strongest board state in the world, I would call it, having a Pete and a Calhoun, because Calhoun, she's great against little guys, but notably Chris says, I don't run little guys, I run a Tipo, and he's out of here. He's in the inkwell or gone. We're done with Tipo time.
And he's never getting exerted either, as you may know. As we're singing the Be Prepared, interesting chain of events there. Maybe just trying to prevent a potential Pete bounce scenario. You haven't really seen your opponent's entire deck, but just clear the Pete when you can, if you want to do it that way, and then you can deploy a McDuck Manor. It's going to be a nice little include against the Crash Out deck. This could be the deck that you want to have your Manor defenses against, but you just can't do it as you draw another fire cannons. I bet.
Passed. He drew a card and passed, which I think at some point Chris caught on that Iago's just not drawing cards the way he would want to. There's no libraries, there's no friends, there's no Rabbits, we haven't seen a rabbit. So like I think Chris is like, wait a minute, if I just keep crushing him and he just keeps top decking, eventually I win, because he can only at best do spot removal. We've not seen any Zeus's. We've only seen Strength for Reaching Fire and Cannon, which he's not really afraid of either of those with his board empty. So maybe he's kind of seen through the matrix and said, I'll just keep vibing over here, playing cards and knowing that you will have to work so hard to deal with these issues.
Oh my goodness, and the hits just keep on coming as we got another how far I'll go. It's just too much energy on Chris's side of the board, and it's just not. I think you're right. I think he realized that he isn't playing those really cool amethyst cards that can just reach out and take the game away. So you can kind of just take your time and set up and just start gaining this residual lore. The board is completely empty on your opponent's side, and you just keep putting down these Calhouns and just play the fire to cannons, man. Just you can't even play the fire to cannons. You can't even stack the damage because the popsicle is just going to heal it, and the carpetbag is going to get it back for free, and it's just a waste. You can't even really do anything with it. It's just terrible.
Yeah, it definitely. And shout out to Iago for just being like, listen, I'm going to keep playing. You got to do this. I'm not going to do it for you. But now we see this shark, and it's like, okay, so now I got 3 separate problems, no Zeus, and 1 Calhoun. And we've seen him hang in here, so I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is the inevitability, as they say, rests very heavily with the player that has 3 beefy problems and no immediate solution on the other side. And infinite ink, by the way.
It's a quadruple threat, dude. You have the whole, and he's still gaining more because the hand is a threat. There's just so many resources that they have access to. The shark is a huge threat because shark is the emulation. You got the Tamatoa, huge threat. The carpetbag's a threat. The manor's a threat. It's just 5-prong attack, man. The inkwell is a threat. You're out inked as well. It's just so much going down, man. And this will be the perfect time to have those cobras. Like that's you can't really stop that. Or the white roses, like I said, the snake bounce white rose mambo that they do in the late game to close. That is one of the most vicious closes that a deck can do.
I think it's a pirate's life, just as a treat. Yeah, I mean, it's not over in the sense that legally it's not over, but it is over in the sense that Captain Hook certainly isn't going to get it done. And what about
fire the cannons, dude? Shiver somebody's timbers, dude. Shiver his timbers, dude. I'm with that energy. Calhoun gains 2 lore, and we got a strength, which is just.
I liked it. He said, "I'm going to play my cards. I brought them, so I shall play it." So that was rough on the outside, and so I'm very excited to hear. Did he think he'd be playing against his deck? What was the anti-meta? So let's go ahead and jump in and get down to the interview portion.
Chris Anderson, huge fan of both of you. Great play. Unfortunately, it did not work out for you, Iago. Chris, I was disappointed. I didn't see the amber and I didn't see the amethyst, and I got a bit sad. But you had to go to the Ruby Sapphire. You're taking this thing serious, trying to get the dub. Can you talk about this deck in particular? Why did you bring it, and what is it about Ruby Sapphire that talks to you?
Sure. Well, Ruby Sapphire, me and Ruby Sapphire go way back. Most of my finishes are with Ruby Sapphire. And of course they're like older versions, not with Shark. But I really like this deck. I think it has a lot of agency. It's a lot of fun to play. It has a lot of powerful cards. It's good at like playing from behind, and it's good at playing from ahead. And I felt like the 3 best decks in the format were Green Steel, Amber Steel Aggro, and Amber Steel Songs. And I feel comfortable with both of the Amber Steel matchups, and I think they're close. It's just the deck that I've been playing the most on ladder and having the most success with so far early in the season. So decided to go with it.
Okay, we saw you had some text in there. You had the Hades Infernal Schemer, which isn't always played, and those Super Goose, which is going insane on those Smees. They weren't really able to get a lot of foothold, man. They came down, they got their 1 quest in, and the Super Goose would come on in right on time and just knock them out. Is that why you put that card in his deck? I know it's great against the aggro stuff. How do you feel about Super Goof's performance? I know a lot of the Ruby Sapphire community is kind of back and forth on the Super Goof inclusion in this build.
Yeah, I'm also back and forth on Super Goof. It really is meta contextual. Sometimes it's really good for the meta, other times it's just kind of a lousy card. But right now, I think the most popular deck is Amber Steel Aggro. And I think if you don't have a bunch of Super Goofs in your deck, that matchup becomes concerning. I think I would have lost both of those games if I didn't have a Super Goof on turn 3. So yeah, for now I'm running 4 of them, and I think I'm happy with that decision. But it could definitely go down to 2 of, go down to 1 of, go down to 0 of,
Okay.
depending on what else is going on.
Well-
Usually it's brawls or super groups. You don't really have enough space for both. So I've got a couple of brawls to respect Diablo, but I think that the bigger concern is Smees and other two questing tutus in the format.
Absolutely.
And we saw the spiciest of tech cards, a carpet bag. So there's
I
one
love
of
the
them,
carpet
but
bag.
man, you found them and it put in work. So share with me your story of how you found and fell in love with this carpet bag.
The carpet bag is amazing. I'd say my my relationship with carpet bag goes back to set 5. Well, it wasn't carpet bag itself. It was a card that's similar to carpet bag in Great Stone Dragon. Many of you in the chat will know Tomas is a big fan of Great Stone Dragon, and he tricked me into playing it in set 5. He was right. Gosh darn it. The card is amazing because it basically allows you to essentially draw 2 cards. In the sense of Great Stone Dragon, it comes in the form of it must be an ink, but it's still an extra resource. So you're getting, twice as many rectangles onto the board as your opponent does over the game. That's going to matter a lot. This certainly isn't the matchup for Carpetbag, but it luckily worked out, and it definitely showed up today. The main reason I play Carpetbag is for mirror matches, Red Purple and Blurple, especially Blurple. That matchup without Carpetbag is lousy. It's legitimately bad, and just by adding that one card to the deck, I think it changes it from a pretty bad matchup to a matchup I'd happy to see every single round if I get it.
Wow. Big ups on the carpet bag. Get your carpet
sure.
bags today if you guys are intrigued on that. But I liked it a lot, man. I thought it came through huge, especially on that turn where you got to the be prepared after you did a little carpet bag maneuvering, was able to deploy the be prepared and just continue to just
Yeah, that
grind
was
all
so
the way into
lucky.
that late game.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I'm excited because I smelled Tomaz on it. I said, this reminds me of another slow but powerful card. And my Tomaz meter went off. So that's very exciting.
Okay. But you got Iago here as well. And Iago, unfortunately, I did look at your deck post game and I saw the colors and I was like, oh, you're going to be in a great spot when you usually Purple Steel versus Ruby Sapphire is going to be a pretty good matchup for the Amethyst Steel. However, your deck is called anti-meta. This ain't the meta that this deck is anti of that. If you could just talk about your deck and what were you hoping to face with the anti-meta deck that you brought today?
Oh, absolutely. I got cooked today. I got wrapped up in that magic carpet bag and thrown out the window. Iago flew out, gave it my best Gilbert Godfrey. What?
Oh my.
Are you kidding? It was great. It was so good. No, it was so good. We came in prepared thinking like, oh, great, I'm going to be on the draw. So let's play against the dogs. Let's play against the Amber Steel. Let's build an anti somebody turn sideways, go fast. And we were like, great, how do we do that? And we took a look at the cards and we're like, oh yeah, Rafiki, Captain Hook. What if we just like give them all these crab bonuses? Crab bonus, Yana bonus, what's the other one? Yavanna bonus. How about we just like smack rhinos? How about we just like take rhinos and just nom 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 nom. And so we came ready, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll win game 1. Kristen won. He the man. He the guy. He the home chuck fire. He the leader, right? And of course, gotta pick him up, put him on my shoulders again. Just kidding. I'm the first one in, last one out. And so we did our thing. We came in, but I just brought the wrong deck to the table, and I'm not gonna lie, that was a close game still. Like I had 2 really good chances. And I think there's still a chance if I rewind the tape. I definitely inked Pete early on game 2, where I was like, I wish I had that. I didn't think that far. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I'll be cooked like a bacon.
I mean, I would like to be in Tian's planning meetings. They sound spectacular. It sounds musical and magical.
So much fun.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yo, karaoke is always involved. All right. Like secrets out. Karaoke is always involved. If it's not fun, why are we doing it? This is a game, y'all.
Let's go.
Let's have some fun.
But that honestly, had the matchup been a little bit different, and I was wondering, like towards the end of the stretch, typically how this Amethyst Steel deck wants to close it out. They got the White Roses, they're bouncing with the snakes, they got the Quest bounce Quest, they got the Pete, they got the Smee, all these kind of things to kind of get down the back end of it. You didn't have access to any of that. You also didn't have any Zeuses, you didn't have any of that kind of stuff, but you did have Captain Hooks and you did have these Fire to Cannons. Were those some of the cards you were drawing? Because I saw at a time you draw a card and you immediately just put it off to the side.
Oh yeah, if I didn't look at it, that was the Captain Hook spell and a Strength of the Raging Fire after you get your board wipe. I was like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll keep you safe. I might need you in the future. watch this.
That's brutal.
Yes,
We
yeah.
did figure that's what that was,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
But it did get close, like you said, towards the end of that stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, you got all the way up, you flooded the board. Was there any trepidation about putting so many characters into the field of play, into that
Yeah,
potential be
game
prepared
game
without that
one,
Pete?
I was looking at it and I was like, all right, I got check on board, but if against the Hades and empty board, right?
Hmm.
He telegraphed that he didn't have the board wipe, or maybe he was slow rolling it. So I was like, all right, well, let's play into this and let's
Hmm.
make it a checkmate. Let's make it a checkmate scenario. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. Maybe
Right.
I could have held it. Maybe I could have just played those two Trinidaddies right after, and then maybe got a little bit more value out of it. Absolutely. But you know what? I got him in check.
Hey,
It's not a good match for me, so I got to make sure I pressure, and I went for it.
yeah.
I got wrapped up in
Wow.
that carpet bag, thrown out the window. Bye. It was
Yeah,
good. It was
honestly,
real good. We were actually
I think the
talking about it the whole
decision
time. Like, that was good. That was
I like it.
the decision was
tech cards.
definitely correct though. You had the right read. I didn't have it. I just got lucky.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I put myself in a position to top deck it by running out the Maui first and healing and then drawing. Like I was
Totally.
odds against to get it for sure. So
Yeah,
I
I
do
was doing the
feel,
same thing
yeah.
the turn before with the like play the fifth character as the doc, and then maybe I roll into the strength, and I was like, oh look, I got it. Oops, I did it. And then you oops, I did it right back. You know, that was great. We played a game.
definitely.
Absolutely. The game was great, and I like the explanation on the build of the deck. It's definitely something that I want to try myself because I got a lot of Amber Steel in my own local area, and unfortunately, this is not the matchup for the build that you brought, and that's just how it's going to be. Sometimes you roll the dice, and sometimes it comes up snake eyes. But taking nothing away from Chris Anderson, I thought he played it phenomenally well, and your techs came out and they shined through. The Hades and the Carpetbag were the stars of the show, and they provided some great coverage for your deck and catapulted you to a nice victory. But with that, I'm gonna kick it on over to you, Mr. Anderson. Any illuminating thoughts? Anything else you want to say? Any shout outs you want to give? I will bounce pass it to you. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Sure. Yeah, shout out to the lounge. They're awesome. Shout out to Indy Lorcana. Shout out to Nashville Lorcana. Shout out to Din. I speed ran his guide yesterday after finding out that I was going to be playing deck event on Wednesday. It was pretty helpful. And also, I got a brew for you. I know you're a fan of my
I am. Please.
suspicious yellow decks, but I got if you have if you think you'd enjoy playing Shift Clarabelles on turn 3 with 0 to hero
Let's go.
and drawing lots of cards, then I've got a deck for you.
Send it my way. I think I played a deck very similar to that the other day on stream. But if you have
Oh,
it, you
dope.
know I'm
Okay,
a huge fan. Anything you post, I'll probably give it a shot, man. So I
awesome,
like the spice. Send it my way. I'll definitely give it. I'll definitely kick the tires. 100%.
awesome. All right,
Yeah,
yeah, that's all I got for today.
you don't have to
Absolutely.
pitch too hard to JDZ when you're like, I got a spicy deck. He's like, I'm in. I'm in.
Done.
I
I'm
got
done.
it.
Sold.
Oh yeah.
Sold. Anything with some heat.
Louisiana fresh.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. All right, but Iago, man, I love the attitude, man. I love the positivity, even though things didn't go your way.
All good.
I'm winning.
It's a game.
I'm winning here by being in the booth and get a chance to call your game. So, any shout outs
I
that you want
appreciate
to
it.
give? Any special anything you want to say? The floor is now yours.
Yo, of course, shout out like special tributes to my wife. Allows me to play games for not for a living, but for a lot of it.
Hmm.
To the team, Tian, the people that brought me in, the people that trust me. It's been a really special time. I actually came from Magic the Gathering, and then I left it around when they digitized everything. My friend groups, all qualified for Pro Tours, and we were like
Wow.
all grouping together and making it happen. And then they just kind of like, the game fell apart. and I walked away from games for a while, kind of disheartened, and then Disney came along. So shout out to Disney, shout out to Ravensburger, everybody, the folks in your team that put this all together. This is incredible. Like, you saw it in my bio. I produce events as well, so I'm inspired. I love what you're doing, and we're gonna keep things going, and maybe we can make some more moves to make accommodations for some of us West Coasters to
Come on, man.
play some more games. Let's go.
Let's make it happen, dude. We
yeah.
got to do something on the West
Absolutely.
Coast. We're getting cooked out here on the West Coast. Everybody's eating good, but we're not eating too good. I'm trying to get something done up here in Seattle. I will definitely come down there to the Bay Area, man. If you guys want to, let me stay with some Tian Who games. We'll figure something out.
Absolutely. We got some great surprises and fireworks coming out soon. So as soon as Worlds is over, we're going to announce our year 2 of Lorcana Battle of the Bay. That's coming up soon. So I'll share it with y'all first, and we'll take the next step.
Absolutely. But gentlemen, we're gonna hop back over to the booth as we're setting up for round number 3. The Chris Anderson, the Lorcana Loungers are basically a lock going into the next round. So I'm sure you guys are going to be celebrating mightily. But Tian Ho, you guys are down, but you're not out. Let's go ahead and keep the positivity up, and let's finish this thing strong. And let's go ahead and save face as we're going to the all important round number 3. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you again for your support and participation in the ICL, and we will see you on the next one.
I forgot my
Right.
key. I gotta press buttons. Whew, I did it.
Made it, Katie. I made it. It took me too long. Like 35
I know, me
seconds.
too. I always am like, and now I'm gonna press the buttons. Everyone, don't worry, I am pressing it. But I did it, but that's sad because it's the button for me to say goodbye.
No.
But that's okay.
You know what? Everything I said about Garrick was wrong. Okay,
Because now it's me. Yeah,
It's all
Yay!
Katie. I wish I could stay with Katie more time with Katie and less time with. I'm kidding. I love all of my time, and I'm hogging all the ICL because I need to get these reps in. I need to build that endurance and the stamina to get into this world championship here in a few short weeks. But Katie, as always, it's a pleasure and a blast to be here with you, locked in and laser focused in the dojo. Any shout outs you want to give? Okay, I know you got some shout outs.
I do, because I have a Labubu Big Into Energy that was delivered today, my first one. So shout out to the UPS driver that dropped that off. Shout out to you, Garrick and Colors Law, because you guys were sitting like an Oldsmobile 3-seater front seat for like 12 hours together, and that takes like a lot of love and friendship to sit that close, to be like, hey, you want to go on an international flight to Victory Town? and then middle ZZ, and Garrick was like, I'll take middle Z, but he got the armrest, so that's actually smart for him. So that was beautiful to see. Very, very fun to watch. And I did say once in the chat, I said, they're just opening trinkets and giggling. And I'm very jealous because I wasn't opening trinkets and giggling. So wonderful stuff.
And honestly, it went by so much faster. It felt like an instant because it was so much fun the whole time. My face was hurting from laughing so much. And Colors Law is great. Garrett's great. You're great. We're going to do this again in person at some point, Katie. I think it's going to happen.
I'll be sitting kind of in the background. Like we'll get like a riser, like a choir, and we'll have like a choir of casters.
Like a stable of chairs.
Yeah. It'll be beautiful. But either way, I mean, we've kind of hinted at it. I'm leaving, but in my place, right where I am, you're gonna see a person, an angel, if you will. Color is law.
Color is law in the building. There she there she is, Miss America. Hey, Color, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
You weren't expecting that, were you?
It's been years. The Miss America thing? No, not here.
Okay.
How are you doing?
It's been so. It's feel like we've just been hanging out. I've been doing great. We're having a high impact night of ICL action. Okay, it seems like the Tian Ho gang has gone down, unfortunately, but we're gonna finish the drill. We're gonna get it absolutely done. Colors Law, are you ready to do this?
I am, and the crazy thing is like I love everybody here, and it's like no, but like I love Kopos, and I love. Oh, okay, here we go. All right,
I just want a good game at this point. I want a good clean matchup, just like Josie's JMBN. I'm trying not to mess that up tonight. Very clean and elegant playmat, no design, clean sleeves, very nice aesthetic over there. As Kopos, aka Tana Win, is rocking the Ink prize mat, it seems, that you got for being in the second place position.
That was the one I wanted. That's the one, like, it was sitting underneath me all day, and like that is like a sensory, like I was just playing with that foiling on the mat all day long. So like,
where's your
and then the
did you steal your dice? You didn't steal the
No,
dice?
I didn't take the dice. I left the dice. I put it back on the shelf where it
That was your
belongs.
child color. You
Then
cannot. I'm
my
so disappointed.
son. I know. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know who it belonged to. So I was like, I can't just like take this thing.
You
But
should have
like, yeah,
stole the dice. I would have
I
paid
was
for the
like,
dice.
I was like walking around with it, like handing it to players. Like, how'd you do in your round? Here's an emotional support cube. You know, like so. No, it was a good day. It was a good day, and I loved it. But yes, I did. I said goodbye. Shed a single tear for my cube, and like set him back on his way.
No, that's kind of poetic. I mean, you guys got through some hard times together.
I
As,
know. there was a go-go turn where me and the cube were just like, oh.
you
So
guys were snuggling mightily
Yep,
as
yep.
Go-Go off the top. That's
Whoa.
not gonna haunt my dreams forever. I'm sure the player involved, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but you gotta heal. It's gonna always be with me. It's because we knew it was gonna happen. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. He drew it too. And you gotta
Especially
heal.
when Go-Go came out originally, right? You're like, oh, this card's cute. It does cute things. And then it happens to you like 7 times in a row. And you're just always like terrified that like, even if it's not even an emerald deck, there's just going to be a Go-Go like from the top rope. And you're just like, so gotta heal. Gotta heal.
It is what it is, but we're gonna be on our way. I believe that that JMBN is going to be going first this time, as Tanner Wynn is fresh, hot off of a top placing performance. He made it all the way to second place in a 128 person event, which is no slouch. And he had another top performance in SSG a few weeks before.
In a room full of steel, he made second. It was crazy.
It was like, but I think he dodged steel. He's not dodging steel today, as you see that 1/16th Wolf is going to be on the play right now.
Coming in. Yeah, I mean, we saw that 1/16th Wolf take one too many fire the cannons. Oh, did he miss turn 1? Oh, Ink of Friends and pass. That is Amethyst nightmares. No one drop inking friends.
I mean, your hand must be absolutely clogged, bricked, and unplayable, as Josie has to recognize that and see some weakness from your opponent. Well, you get that patent pending shift Rhino on too. Which color? I'm telling you, I'm starting to prefer Shift Diablo than this Shift Rhino. Oh my God, there he is.
Rhino is, that card is a house. Like he's 1/16th Wolf and then goes into the protected hand splitter. And like, I feel like they didn't think that sub name through. I feel like 1/16th Wolf to like whole problem. You know what I mean? Like they should have really, really went with it after that. Cause it does not, when we get Go-Go no value. Oh dear. With a Fox and Inkwell.
This shifted hamster is an absolute menace to society. I think that JMBN will be able to use this thing to sing songs as well. So you can come in and shift and then sing a Zeus, or you can, storm sometimes. This card is absolutely a meta warping, meta defining, meta breaking card, as we are going to. There it is.
I know. Because even if you were to bounce that Go-Go, put it back in your hand and Fox the Rhino. So it just laughs at it. It just laughs at a fox. That's crazy.
Insanity. As
Lady into do we have a two?
Smee. Can't be Smee.
It's
Never
a one
Smee.
drop. It's Family Dog, and she came with the whole family. Oh.
So we have the
this
dog.
deck is so good.
It's and crazy. We have the Cindy as well. And it's so ironic because you had this is the deck that you brought. And the previous round, you had your opponent, your other teammate brought the anti of this deck, which I think is quite funny. That guy's good here. Put him in Inkwell.
I think our hand is looking a little, I mean, not the lady. We don't bounce the lady. She's just bringing friends with her.
Man, this is tough. I think Tanner Wynn has to be feeling like this game is slowly starting to slip away as Kit Cloud Kicker is bouncing back to Cindy, which is pretty decent. It'll stop you from singing the song, but you already have a certified singer set up. 2 of them, actually.
I think, those are 2 singers. I was like, no, a lady would be busted if she was only 2 ink, but then a Pete, it's fine. Just, this is, this is hard. I mean, as a Amethyst Emerald player, you kind of don't want to see any of the stuff that's happening. Yeah. And like singing strength now. So now their board is getting wider and your board is quite lonely.
Yeah, this one's looking like it's getting out of hand very, very quickly for Kolpos, who I don't even know the card combination you need to get to. Maybe it has to be something Ursula Clarabelle or something. Maybe you need somebody huge. that cannot be Zeused, because Zeus is going to be something that they could potentially.
Well,
be
that's
playing
pretty
as well.
big. That Ursula Sea Witch
Yeah.
Queen into the Inkwell, but she's not coming down. Peter Pan, that will.
Okay.
Lady is a 2/2, so she's gone. No more family.
Mm-hmm. But you still have that Pete, and you have the Rhino combo. You have 2 damage on there, so another song here would just be devastating. Maybe there's a world where you get to the Iago. Is Iago big enough to clear this thing? This
No,
hamster
Iago's a 4/6.
4/6. He can tank
Mhm.
2. That's right. Iago can't even clear this thing.
Nope. That
What
giant
are-
bird can't even come after the
Goodness.
hamster. That's crazy. Godzilla bird can't even take out a hamster in a ball. Send me
And
back.
Sanity as
And into a
Doc.
dock. Oh, that's beautiful though. Cindy into dock into refill our hand.
Adding 2 more cards and another
Into a
song.
song!
The other song is going to come down. So this is the steel roll here, as this is just the
Oh my
giga
goodness.
quest for the Rhino for 2. Pass it back on over, and if I'm Tian to win, I'm saving some time, and I'm like, look, we already won. I'm out of here. I don't want to deal with this.
All right, wait a minute. This deck, I mean, the way that this deck is curved out, I'm like, well, hold on. Does it have Rapunzel's in it? Because I might play Amber. Yeah, and that genie just comes down so late and draws a card. It just feels so slow. It feels so slow in a deck that should be faster. And this new Amber Steel aggro thing where you curve out beautifully like this, it's oppressive.
You're talking faster. This deck is probably one of the fastest decks I've seen in the whole time, even faster than some of the hyper aggro decks. This deck is so fast and so consistent, man.
And
Rhino on
resilient.
2 with the shift, exactly resilient. It's insane what it can do. As you got
Wow! That is so, and that's the crazy thing too, is like the lady into a piglet is disgusting because you
Absolutely.
only drew
This
2
is-
cards off of Doc, so now you drew a daisy and then you drew this and you drew that, and it's like it doesn't matter. All of them cost 2.
What is stopping this, man? What can get through this? This
is a perfect opening. That's
this
crazy.
is brutal. What is stopping this? Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is
Tears.
brutal,
What if
brutal.
you cry on it? Do you think if you start crying on their
Yeah.
cards, they'll pick them up and you'll just scoop?
Maybe,
wonder
yeah.
if that's
I think if Copos just starts weeping violently, maybe
You
JMBN will just
scoop.
give up.
You're like,
I think.
yeah. I mean, that's a lot of lore on the board. A
That's
lot of lore.
That's repulsive, and a lot of these cards are gonna be sticking around. Like Doc's gonna be here, Pete's gonna be here, Daisy's gonna be here, Lady's gonna be here, Rhino's here.
Rhino's here forever. That is an immortal Rhino. I mean, I think at this point, Crab Fox, you know, that'll take the Rhino. That'll be good. I mean,
Yeah.
you could 1-drop Fox with the Daisy. That would also be something, you know. I mean, at this point, Fox is where we need to be. Elsa turning the
Yeah.
piglet sideways, that would be fun.
Yeah, Genie can clear the Cindy into a Fox, clear the Daisy, but then guess what? Fox can just get dunked on by the Rhino, and you want to lose a wink of sleep about it, and then you can heal the Fox and heal the dang Rhino with the Rapunzel off the top. Feels
Some
miserable.
decks aren't running Rapunzel though right now. That is kind of a okay. Kit
Really?
will do something. Yeah, it
Interesting.
just there are some variants of this deck that have kind of slid away from the Rapunzel. It's because when it's really good, it's a really, really amazing turn. But at the same time, like I don't know, there's a split right now. It's like, is it cuttable? Is it not cuttable? And I mean, it is arguably an exceedingly powerful card. But are there other cards that you could be putting in there right now?
For sure.
It's just a question.
I'm just whenever I play Amber, I'm just addicted to Rapunzel. There's no chance in any world, in any universe, in this world or the next, I'm playing an Amber card and not playing Rapunzel. It's just not gonna happen.
I'm not good at Rapunzel traps. So, we are going to scoop it up. So, yeah, that was a just menacing board with a perfect curve from the newer kind of aggro Rhino overlord meta we have going on.
I listen, I am not excited for that. Okay.
Our
That
hamster overlords.
I've been playing a little bit and I get hamster and it feels so miserable. It is such a down. It's such a feels bad. We just getting exerted on. You're like, oh, my opponent's exerting all over me. I can't stop him from exerting.
I know. Like I like to win in other ways, and you're winning the old-fashioned way of turning things sideways. That's
You're
not even
exerting.
fair.
Oh no, I'm being exerted upon. I cannot stop. Oh, please stop exerting for 5 seconds. And it's just nope. We're going to exert, dude. We're going to quest. And
Again,
I just
like-
think that's just like, I feel so bad.
I always think of like these decks where I'm like, oh, why do you want to play this deck? And I remember like Boomy Jr. is like, because if you go to a DLC and you play these kind of decks, you get to have snack time in between rounds. And I honestly think he's onto something.
That might be the way. Just start playing aggro and getting it happening. I think that'll I think that'll be the way to go. I concur with that sentiment mightily, as we are going to be on the approach now. Josie hoping to do exactly what she just did. JMBN just trying to just get aggressive super fast, Rhino up, and because Rhino can also challenge quite well.
I was about to say that was another thing too, is like, oh, like a lot of times you kind of like, oh, on the draw this deck isn't as strong, but like Rhino is incredible on the draw. It's incredible on the draw.
Mm-hmm.
So and I will say, like, that was a perfect start for Amber Steel in the deck that you want to see, and seeing that many songs, and then like everything just went exactly the way it should have went. So if we do have that consistency with the deck, we might see the exact same thing again, or we might see a different game. So hopefully you get a game 3. I want a game 3.
Absolutely. As we are getting a nice little alter, we're only sending 3, so maybe that's telling a story. Are you hard altering for the Rhino shift? Is that something that you would do if you're playing this?
As someone who has about 5 total minutes of experience on Amber, yeah, sure, I would hard mode for it. Absolutely. Let's get in there and alter and find Rhino, because it seems to be very, very good.
Seems to be super good in this matchup. Yeah. And it shifts on 2, which is another. It's insane. Like every piece of this card is just actually insane. It's inkable. It's got a crazy strength at 4. It's got the resist. It's got 3. It shifts on 2. And the shift line is actually quite good. The little 1/16 Wolf card is actually not a bad card at all. It is a very playable card on its own.
It's a very, very good card on its own. Yeah, and I mean, and I will say though that is like a really, really good line, and maybe you could hard mull for it, but you could also really mess yourself up with the deck. So honestly, like if you look at your hand and it's quite playable, because this deck loves to curve out, just do that.
Mm-hmm. You can do that too, and also you have to think about your song contents as well, because this deck does play Ursula, and you don't want to get your songs nabbed too hard, especially the uninkable ones.
Mm-hmm.
So if we get a strength going down to the inkwell here, that'd be a good sign that maybe you can miss an Ursula on 2. As Smee is going to go down to the inkwell.
Into a Daisy, so a 2-quester for a 2-quester, but yours is a 0/1, so let's see how that goes.
And let's see if we can get an Ursula on 2 to take a sneak peek at the hand. I think there's some value there. Just see at least what you're up against, as we will go ahead and deploy the Deceiver. And you will miss. No, she's missing.
Those Plutos, though, are so good right now. They're so good because you protect your ladies and you protect all your other little things. And
oh my goodness. And we do, that's just brutal. I think you might have to ink one of those Plutos, though, to get this Smee going, I believe. Or you could save it for the lady play. Maybe ink the 1/16 Wolf. I don't know. You just got so many options. All your cards are so good. And they're all inkable, man.
They're all good.
They're all
That's
good.
crazy. That's crazy.
I hit it here. Maybe because I play so many bad cards all the time. When I play like the worst possible cards. And I'm like, man, these cards are all so good.
You're like, wait, hold on. Yeah. You're like, you put good cards in your deck.
That's unfair.
Yeah, that's why I was we were playing the Allies on the Other Side episode. We're gonna quest with Daisy. Oh no, we're gonna challenge into the Merfolk. And Baker was curving out, and I was like, you're just playing a good deck, Baker. It's not fair. Don't play good cards. Stop playing good cards.
Just having good stuff. Good stuff turbo.
Yeah. We're gonna discard a
probably that 1/16 Wolf. I would think maybe you're trying to save it. No, you're gonna kick
get rid of him.
That little guy out of here. He's not doing too terribly much on his own, as you've already missed the ability to shift. We kick the lady here, which is also interesting.
Yeah, I mean, really kind of valuing those Plutos, I guess, for the later game. And the 1/16 Wolf is fine because Rhino is just a good turn 4 play. Like, just 4 ink is fine for that card because it's bananas.
Just play, yeah. Once you can't shift it, just might as well just play it on 3. There's no need to do anything else and just rock with it. Or you can even shift it. I mean, if you go 1/16 Wolf on, I don't know. I just play it on. Just play it hard and just get rid of the other guy if you don't need him.
Just get him in there. Yeah, Fox into the Inkwell. That's interesting. Oh, okay. We're gonna keep with the kits though. Yeah, the kit does keep it you know, we are on the play, so Kit does really, really help that.
Mhm.
You're just kind of keeping them behind by just like taking all those questers off the board.
But interesting, inking that fox though. I would definitely try to hard grip that fox to keep
Something
bouncing
might-
this kit and just be able to challenge in to something and keep redeploying this kit cloud kicker later. Maybe they have multiple foxes in hand, or they're just hard
Valuing
screwed on ink.
something. Yeah. Yeah, they might be valuing something that we're not seeing at this point because, you know, they are kind of not ahead anymore. We know we have 4 lore on the board, but we are gonna have to see. Yeah. At this point, I mean, the kit can. Haha.
and we'll just go ahead and
I was
get
in
another
traffic for
question.
a long time.
Oh, getting off of work, working hard, driving. How was that drive all the way up to Mother Knows Best? Interesting for a
Horrible.
little bit of bounce.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep them off it.
Yeah, just try
But
to
again,
tip.
we're not questing, but we're all right.
Yeah, get it straight into the tempo bag. If you do send another fox, interesting. I would be hard going for this kit cloud kicker, as you're just trying to keep your opponent off of characters on board by bouncing them back to the hand, slowing them down a little bit while developing characters to your board, playing this tempo game plan. I like it. This could be the approach to victory, as you have a
Yeah.
lonely Smee up and active by himself.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a good play. Like, get your board really, really wide, and so now the removal isn't going well. And so if they do start to actually get things down, which they're quite behind now because they only have the Smee on board, you have such a wide board to can kind of like challenge into anything that does start to turn sideways. So you're quite ahead on that. The Pluto is going to be a problem, but that's fine because you can throw an Ursula into it. And, well, the foxes are gone, but we'll figure out. We'll figure it out.
And that is a textbook tempo plan. Just keep your opponent off of characters on the board while continuing to develop your own, and then able to trade threats while keep refilling your hand with some of your drawing stuff. I haven't seen any rabbits or anything like that just yet. But this is the
Rabbit
one ton of
Inkwell.
Inkwell. What are Cricky is huge,
That is
He's
so good. Cricky's such a good card.
and you'll be able to just solo dolo into
Yeah.
the guard dog.
Sure,
then
yeah.
The Ursula could have soloed into the Pete, into the Smee.
But then you lose your Ursula, so I think they're valuing keeping that
true.
around just to get
Gotcha.
the lore. So, and then
Smart.
potentially maybe a Bell later next turn, which would take the damage off of the Genie and put it onto literally anything in that Amber Steel deck. So, I see the lines. We'll see.
Right. And that does make sense now. Now we see why he was greeting those cards in hand, as the Cricky was one of the cards he was probably holding on to try to set up a play like that. Very dynamic. And also quest for 3. So you can actually start getting to an aggressive position and start to race your opposition as you're readying all your units. Is it the Bell? Bell's not even that great because you don't float damage to a potential Rapunzel. You'd hate to see it.
Oh, we're just going to
Oh!
shift the big old gal.
Look at
That'll
that.
do it. That'll do it. You can't sing anything.
Oh,
Quest
look
down
at
and then
that. Yeah,
tap down.
You can send a Daisy if you want, or just quest for freaking 8 if you want. I think that's looking kind of irresistible to me.
Yeah, I mean, Ursula is very, very hard for Amber Steel to get rid of. I mean, there are maybe Zeus's in this deck, so it might make it a little easier, and especially with Lawrence on board. But I don't know, I might. Oh, I'm so greedy. Yeah, I think, just tap that down, and then maybe pop into it with so you don't have a 4/4 coming back to crack you with, and get rid of your Cricky. Are we questing?
No, I think we're just questing. I think we're sending those glimmers on I think we're glimmer gang all the way through and through. We're questing those glimmers, getting a nice little 8, and this is putting some serious pressure on JMBN, who has the initiative now to be able to clear this Cricky, clear Cricky into a Rapunzel this turn. Not sure if you're playing Rapunzel at all, but if you are, you would be on your way.
That would definitely be good. And that's kind of why I was like, oh, maybe I guess because you can't clear the Lawrence, then you don't really want to give Rapunzel value. So you might as well get your lore and then make them do the thing. You just get the lore, see what happens from it.
Yeah. That's a tenet that I've heard that I'm still having a hard time learning myself. Is just, obviously the whole beatdown scenario. I don't want to regale you guys with that, but just identifying when it's time to quest and let them worry about it, or when it's time for me to continue to aggress them.
She's like, I don't even want to sit here and do this because that Ursula is insane to get rid of. The Ursula is very, very hard.
Wow, we got a game 3. Let's go, game 3. Let's go. As we're still trying to go for it. We're trying to complete the drill and go for the sweep. There is Kolpos. Excuse me, as JMBN is fighting for Tian Ho Pride completely. As this is an ideal scenario for you. This matchup seems quite good. You are back on the draw, excuse me, back on the play, and it seems like the best possible deck to be on the play these days, as Tanoin's going to have to do some heavy lifting to get out of this.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, and Kopos played that beautifully. Like, obviously, we were like, oh, keep the foxes. And the cards that they valued in this matchup were amazing. They inked the crab over the cricky. They, you know, inked all the foxes to make sure that they could shift the Ursula. Like, there was a lot of planning that went into those lines. And there was a lot of cards, good cards, that went into the inkwell in favor of that. And also the Cloud Kicker, which also kept bouncing and kept setting them back, allowed that time to get to the shift Ursula, which is you know, at that point it's like, just I quit. And here, let's go next, because that card is a house.
Yeah, so I would be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked if they had to shift Ursula very early on in that game. You had the Ursula on 2, and they probably just greeted Ursula shift and got it to be deployed there. As players just having a little bit of conversation, just trying to figure out what's going down. I think we got too many cards.
Where
in
did
hand.
this card come from? That's always fun. You're like, oh, this one? No, I'll put it back. Do I keep it? Do I put it 7? 7's hard. What is that? Yeah. Counting your opening hand, I get so they're like, oh, you drew an extra. I get so flustered, especially on stream or like at tournaments, stuff like that. I like count my stuff 1,000 times because I never want somebody to be like, oh, you're like, you drew an extra card. No, I can't count, and I'm freaking out anyway because I'm playing this match in front of people. So yeah,
especially live here. You can't. It takes some real gumption. Okay, it takes some real tenacity for a player to come out and cheat live on stream. But it happens all the time. Color. I've seen so many videos of people getting caught up live on stream. Well, not all the time, I think, but there are always cheaters caught in the wild on streams, cheating and being caught. Like, how crafty do you think you are?
I know, right?
You're going to get
you're
caught.
like David Blaine with cards. Like, chill out. Like, what are you trying to do? Just like be normal. Why you spent so much time getting good at that? Just get good at the game. God.
That's what I'm saying. I think that David Blaine out here doing street illusions. Is
like, why are you good at that, but you can't be good at this game with princesses in it? Chill.
Like, yeah, I got this whole prosthetic arm that I shit my cards into. Like, you go through all this, getting surgeries and whatnot to play this freaking game. We could just play the game and
just
be done with it.
Yeah.
Stop it, dude. Knock it off. But it is what it does happen, though, and it's very unfortunate. And as the game goes along, I think it will continue to happen a bit more as people will continue to try to bend and break the rules to gain some type of competitive advantage. It is unfortunate, but that does not happen here in the ICL. I mean, we take that.
Our judges are on it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the one time when I was playing, like I was playing and I'm like, okay, I'm doing really, really good. The judge would be like, move your cards to actually, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, like, cause it was just trying to make sure that the board state was clean, but like, I don't know if my board has ever been that clean since. So I was it's a very high caliber, very high quality here on the ICL. So I do appreciate that.
Take it serious. Shout out to the judges and shout out to the staff and shout out to everyone making this thing happen. I believe for sure. Absolutely. And that is correct. So the goal here at the ICL is to make this thing as close to a professional DLC event as possible. So we take it very serious here. You notice the Blazers and the green screen. The production is going through the roof. You guys gotta give us up for that. Give that, at least give us that here at the ICL. Taking it very serious.
Well, give that to Wonder, not us. Yeah. I mean,
where's the team? You're an ICL member now. Okay, so it's a team effort. Okay, we're all out here together.
I got a green screen for this.
Everyone does their part here at the ICL. So thank you guys for watching, and even the audience out there, people who are tuned in at home watching the ICL. You guys play a very critical part in this whole thing as well, because greatness must be observed. As we are going to start with turn 1 Daisy. Very problematic start. Hate to see it.
I mean, it's a problematic start, but is it a problematic start? Because you know that, I mean, if you're, I guess on the play, the Daisy is fine, but at the same time, like turn 1 Cindy is so good into this deck because, you're just going to play something that gets popped and then... Yeah, as Amethyst, if I see a turn 1 Daisy, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, give me
I am good to go.
Give me all the juice, man. Unless you start hitting the Mother Knows Best or hitting the friends on the other side.
It's not even that. A turn 3, she's gone. I have a fox waiting for that, and you didn't pop my Diablo, so I'm just gonna quest with it. So either you're gonna get your lore, or you're gonna take out my Diablo. So it's so
ink the Smee for Smee. We're going Smee for Smee. Quest the Daisy for 2. It's a fox. Calling it. No,
it's a kit.
It's a cloud
It
kicker.
is a kit. So now that's like other answers. So if you have the fox in hand, great. If you don't, then also great, because now you have a kit.
Mm-hmm.
Daisy's on the other team usually. That's what I've noticed.
Daisy is just the bane of my existence. That card's going to be around too. It will survive post rotation. So if you like Daisy, guess what? You're in luck, because you're going to be getting at least a whole nother calendar year of Daisy from now until the end of time, as Earthbound 2 comes down right on time. She gets a selection.
She does it. Yeah. Well, yeah, you got the strength or the storm. And I think at this point, it's probably the inkable.
Yeah. I think the strength is actually quite good, especially with this lady coming down on 2. You might have to ink this hamster, which feels amazing for you if you are 10-win. Seeing that
you might actually ink the lady at that point. The ink the lady, hard cast the strength potentially, or end up inking that as well. And then get the rhino down on 4.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm greeting this rhino for sure. I am for sure inking that. I'll ink the lady and play the strength. Blast the Diablo, I guess. I don't know. And then hope.
See what you get.
I'm greeting this rhino. I think this guy's too good in this match, particularly. He can withstand the foxes and whatnot, but crab is a problem. So this is a tough spot for Josie.
Yeah, it's definitely. That's why you kind of sometimes like to see we did ink the rhino, so we did play the lady, and then we're just gonna have a singer for next turn. So that also makes sense. So then next turn you can go ahead and sing the storm, take out the Diablo, draw a card, see what you get. Now we gave him a goat.
So we got another high impact card. The Merlin goat is going to be up, and this thing is starting to kind of tip a little bit. JMBN has to start to worry a little bit. You are gaining a significant amount of lore. You're at 6 already, but at the same time, you have some high impact cards coming back at you, and your rhino is now in the inkwell. You got Daisy Duck, which can be cloud kicked away, and then a crab coming in here would actually be quite good as well.
Goat's going to come down because Goat has quite a bit of power on it. Oh, nope, crab is worse.
Yeah.
And you can't cast a goat, so that worked perfectly.
Next turn, I would be shocked and surprised if the goat doesn't come down on turn 4. I'm pretty sure goat's going to be inbound here shortly thereafter. As we got 4 more lore, I guess you can get up to 10, but this board is going to slowly start to fall apart if you keep questing. I'd like to see a Pluto guard dog come in right now.
They're going to get a dock off the top. That is, Amber still giveth, but they also take it away, but they always have a dock on the top. So that's how we're going to get back to this. And of course, at least we're getting inkables. So, and we got another rhino, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that rhino can do some heavy lifting. You could just start any quest for 2. What can't this rhino card do? It's ridiculous quest for 2.
Not much. No, go in every single deck because it is an Amber Steel card.
Yeah. That is so insanely annoying.
Yeah, notably, it cannot sing Whole New World, which for a second when we were in Maryland, I did think that he was a 5 cost. And I was like, this game is over. I will just walk in there, flip the tables, set the decks on fire. It's over. You're like, it costs 4.
But he can, they have another rhino that the uninkable 6 cost one. He can sing Whole New World. I don't think that's a Floodborn though. As we get to the Elsa.
Yep. And we already inked an Elsa. So now we have another Elsa in hand. We know we have a fox or not a fox. We have a goat in hand. So we just have kind of a lot of options. And it looks like Josie has two cards in hand.
Yeah. We're just continuing to just try to aggressively quest as you're sitting at 10. Is that going to be enough? Or is 10-win going to be a bit too slow? I think you're going to have to start deploying this Cloud Kicker just to slow down the questing situation and maybe send this crab on into this lady. You'd lose the crab on the quack.
The quack back. That Daisy's not even going to be there. She can't quack on anything.
That's been a good Daisy call.
A Daisy quack back. Oh, okay. So we could actually get rid of 2 things. So you Mother Knows Best the rhino, and then you bring down
you gotta
something
go fox.
good.
Fox here is crazy. You need
Fox
to get to
goes hard, but also Kit Cloud Kicker does get rid of the Daisy for another turn. So I guess we'll just see.
one of those
Or
things. You need to
do you
get
just
somebody.
put the goat down to have the power on the board and just give him another round of questing?
Yeah,
Because
and
you
then
know you
do
can
some
stop him.
You can do some crab shenanigans next turn with the goat up, and then crabbed up goat can then hit the rhino if he becomes exerted. These are the things that I have a hard time kind of negotiating these tight spots. Tanawin has a ton of cards in hand. You know, Elsa's also in the hand as well.
Oh, they
as you
just
are
had
gonna
the fox.
Look at
Oh,
that.
they just had the fox. That's so good. And then next turn you can, and then yep,
But
Elsa's
with
gonna
both
come
of
down
these
next
characters,
turn.
you can clear the lady and the duck here
Mm-hmm.
because now the fox and I think you're gonna do that.
Juiced up Ursula goes into the lady, and then
Lady?
you have the.
The fox can just go free and
Oh
clear.
no, I would do potentially the fox into lady, so the 2 damage on that, but then you leave the 1 damage. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. That
I
way
see
you
what
keep
you're
everything
saying.
around a little bit longer.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Just in case, I like that approach. But both of those, you know, that storm is going to come, and I guess storm
We
can
don't-
rage on either way. However you did that exchange, but still, it's gonna be a vibe as we are. But that will take your entire turn as a huge tempo play of just hard casting a storm rage on here to clear one of these characters, and you're going to take the bait anyway. Storm pops the Ursula. Interesting.
The shift target. Because if you
Right.
shift the Sea Witch Queen on that, the Sea Witch Queen lives for the rest of forever and ever and ever. So you got to get rid of it. And that's probably
Smart,
why
yeah.
they wanted the 2 damage onto the fox and not onto the Ursula.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of keep that one around a little bit longer.
Right. So maybe they're telling the story. Maybe he's got the Sea Witch Queen already in hand as the Madam Mim Fox is up and active, and now you can send back with the Click Cow Clicker again.
Interesting.
Get
Now we
another
didn't.
question.
Did we not ink? Because I know we have a couple Elsas in hand, or did we end up inking that? Because I feel like
He might just be straight greeting those
Yeah,
Elsas as
and we
do.
did have
There
the
is- look,
shift.
the shift is gone now.
into the inkwell, but it's fine because now we have 3 characters on board to yours 0 with 1. Oh, they do have 4 cards in hand, so let's see what they can pull out here. I mean, you could flood the board. Amber Steel does enjoy doing that.
Right, but this tempo game has been all in favor of Colpos this time. So now if you do play a character here, you have to really be careful because Elsa is imminent. You know what's coming. And if it's somebody like a lady or even a Smee or any of that kind of stuff, it's getting clocked out by these characters on board right now. So Daisy is on the field. We are flooding double
Daisy. Yep. I mean, flooding, if you're going to flood, that's the one way to do it because, I mean, you can Elsa and take out one of them, but yeah. And then I guess, yes, with Kit and the other Elsa, you could take out the other one. So this board might be gone.
For sure. And
It does get rid of the fox, but still.
It's not. You could go Elsa here, and then Elsa and Kit can clear one, and then you could just quest with the Merfolk and the Fox if you felt so inclined to do that. And it seems like that might be something that Colpos might want to do. But I don't know what the rest of their hand is. They've been getting plus mightily by those earlier Daisy Dugs. And
Daisy has been on Colpos' team this entire time. I'm not sure that she's missed yet.
Insider information. Daisy is a traitor, I believe.
Yep. She's not Donald's date, Colpos' date. Unfortunate. I hate to see it.
Man, this is tough. As we're just gonna get a quick quest in for 2. Just trying because you have to win the game at some point. And it's game number 3. Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked. As 2 lore added to the total. Finally, do you have some more bounce? Requesting,
eh? So what are we doing here? I mean, is it the? Oh my goodness! Well, that'll do it.
Wow.
We're valuing the foxes this time.
Just keeping those foxes up. Maybe you can even put the Kit Cloud Kicker down for
Back
another
down
bounce.
to, yep.
There it is. So the tempo game is gaming as you are going to be free and clear to quest up, and you could challenge into that Madam Mim Fox, but you'll lose that Daisy on the quack back. There it is. I got it.
Quack back. You got it. You made it there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Combat Daisy is never a good place to be.
Yeah. You need that bad girl questing for 2. That's what she's paid to do. She's not paid to do laundry. She's not paid to do fox work. She's
go out to get to questing.
Get loose and get that 2 lore is what she's paid to do.
I mean, it
But-
would be nice to see a Pluto here, you know.
Oh, 4 coming in, and it's the
Well,
hamster bull is back.
He's back.
The hamster bull. Look at this guy.
I mean, he's in it. He is in it, and he is terrifying.
Dang hamster bull. This guy might be able to turn this game around. He might be the missing link that you needed to turn this thing almost around. Maybe. I don't know if Josie is playing Rapunzel as another Daisy is down.
I mean, yep. That's. I'm like, is this the same Daisy? Is this the other Daisy? Is that 3? Like, where are we at? I lost count with the amount of Daisies there are. So, I mean, you are going to quest, but at that point, you could. It's a cloud kicker.
Another
You got to be
kid.
kidding me. You got to be kidding me. At this point, I've been like, yeah, like.
That's pretty good. You gotta be you gotta be kidding me.
Kidding me. You gotta be kidding. Wow.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not great. It's not great. It's not great. It's like puns because it hurts. You know what I mean? Like, but
It's there though.
you almost wanted. You was like, man, I should have combat Daisy because then you wouldn't have a kit, and this is the worst. So
Yeah, that Daisy has literally given up like 3 or 4 cards for the lore. I don't know if it's even worth it. It's sitting 0 things at the bottom. Granted, it's not that many things to send. And I think Daisy, I'm starting to have a hate relationship with Daisy Duck, and I'm not even gonna lie. As
oh yeah,
plus
that's why I
value-
don't like the card. I don't know how to use the card. You know?
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use it, then you're gonna lose the game, and that's me. So that's why I don't like her. I'll figure out how to deal with her, but using her, no, man.
No. Actually, know when to quest and when to challenge, and when to do the thing that it's supposed to be doing. As Cloud Kicker is going to bounce that other Daisy Duck back to the hand again. If you get a sing on the Mother Knows Best here, that is a tempo blast that you just
No,
cannot.
you're just gonna go. Oh yeah, well,
wow.
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, go wide at this point. You know the cards in hand. You know what's going on. Your board is getting wider. It's full of answers, and so if anything does start to turn sideways, you know, Rhino only has resist 2 while he has no damage. So you could send something in there to get a damage on him, which would have to be probably a fox, but that's fine. It's on its last leg
I think
anyway.
he might be trying to bait for some type of exertion on this Rhino, and then Crab can just come over the top, 360 no scope off the backboard, dunk through the
yeah,
legs,
there's
and just
still a
blast
crab
this
in
Rhino.
hand.
There is a crab somewhere. We don't know. I don't think we know. If we do know, what's the crab bounce this game?
Yes, yeah, he bounced it back with a fox, gave the power to the Ursula, sent
That's
her
right. Yeah.
sent old girl in. So unless we
So if you exert this Rhino, he's going to get blasted by this up-tempoed goat, who is going to wear the crab very well and just RKO this freaking hamster bull. It's not going to be able to resist all that. I think that's going to be a bit much. So this is looking.
4 + 3 is a squashed hamster. Yeah.
There you go. That's the math.
Yeah, that's
No answer.
yeah, it does. Squashed.
Just a smush banana there, as he's going to be in the hamster ball, out of the hamster ball. I don't know what. I guess you can start challenging with this thing, but you need the lore. I think 1 up to 14. Oh, I don't know how good that is. How much is pressure on the other side? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the goat is going representing 8. Now bring up to 19. Oof.
Yeah, I
Brutal.
mean, you can go wide. We've seen them kind of ink some strength. So even if you went wide and sang a strength, you know, you're not really doing anything. It's a lot, but I think this is he's gonna do a little singing.
A little lady is just getting rid of the
We're gonna do the
merfolk.
merfolk. Oh, and then we're gonna play another one, and then back into the daisy.
Okay.
So if you can keep them off of it, I mean, they are at 11, and again, that's 11.
I mean, you could.
Nice, 17. 17 for Amber Steel is not the same as 17 for
so
Amethyst.
you can what can you get up to with 6? 6 coming your way, you can get all the way up to 18. So you could, in theory, just quest all your glimmers right now. Just quest them up and bounce another fox to put the goat back in hand. I think could almost start to close. No, you lost your cursed merfolk, so that's a lot of lore that you lost. So you might have to contest the board a little bit more. Maybe you can get them Elsas going. They've been in hand. This crab can jump on in.
If he has a third fox, the game is over.
Or a crab fox combo there, or Elsa exert. I think you have enough ink to go Elsa exert and then crab as an 8 ink play, which is dynamic and powerful. quite potent. It looks like it's about to happen, and this might be the end of the game if we pay that 3 ink, boost up the goat, I suppose.
I think you could boost up the Ursula and just try to get your lore, but at that point, it doesn't really matter.
Boost up the kit, you mean?
Or boost up the Elsa. That way you can
Elsa.
get the lore from everything.
No, I think the Elsa would not be enough. Yeah, it would. It would. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I would, but you need to take the Rhino, right?
Mhm.
That's true. I was like, I'd be greedy. I would just take out the Daisy and then quest.
For sure. And it looks like he's just doing a little bit of Tanawan is doing a little bit of board maintenance, just clearing up the Daisy, and then everyone else can gain their residual lores. And it looks like this one might be headed over to Scoopville right there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely isn't great. Yeah, that's the safer play. I know, like, and I mean, I guess Vinny is like some kind of like a really good lore gain that you can get out of Amber Steel. But for me, I'm like, I'm gonna take that Daisy off and then just turn sideways, because if you can magically pull something out, there's not a lot of clearing that you can do past this.
I know, but this is also putting Lorthal damage in play as well next turn, forcing Josie to do some clearing. I think she has to take out something. Probably we'll take the Kick Cloud Kicker for free. Play the Pooh Piglet Pirate Captain, not doing too terribly much. So you're off of Lorthal now, unless you can manage to finesse that goat into the discard, and you can, but you can't do it effectively without him succumbing. So you just can quest all your Glimmies right here and just GG. No re, can't do much.
Yeah, anything you put on the board after this is just gonna. Oh, we're gonna friends on the other side. Just hard play that. Why not?
Why not? Why not? I mean, the game is actively over as you quest for 5 here.
Like, how do I want to win? Do I want to quest, or do I want to try to bounce this goat? Where are we at?
Yeah, and there is the big quest. As you'll gain your 5, get up to 19. Goat in play is checkmate, as he is often able to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll play Lyle just for the vibes here.
Just for the vibes. Reckless that. Here, run into my goat and let me win that way.
Lyle,
that'll be fun. Reckless onto the force the Rhino into the goat, and that's what I would do. Like, how dare you? How dare you give my Rhino Reckless? Just win. Oh.
And we'll just put even more characters into the field of play, and this one is over. As thumbs up goes around.
Just gonna scoop. Yep.
Well played by both. Kopo's uphill battle managed to get through this Amber Steel. I thought that match would be very, very difficult, but a great player, and he managed to figure it out. But we're going to hop on into the booth and talk to the competitors, see what they have to say about this matchup. I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we have JMBN. I didn't say your name wrong once today, just so you know. Okay, I need pats on the back for that. And we have Tana Win, aka Colpos, back at it again. I had the pleasure of meeting you down at the Ink Invitational this weekend. I enjoyed the time we shared together, and congratulations on your second place finish there. Keeping it going, bringing the Emerald and Amethyst back at it again into the ICL. Did you make any changes from that deck into the deck you're playing tonight?
No, it's just the same 62.
the same 62. Run it back. I know you weren't thrilled to run into this Amber Steel matchup. Can you just talk about your feelings seeing Amber Steel as your opponent, and then what were some of your game plan to try to not let what happened in game 1 happen in game 2 and 3?
Right. So I think in game 1, I don't have a payable hand. I throw back 6, and I still don't have a good hand to pay it off. What I try to find on the draw is like turn 1 we will just ink and pass. Turn 2, ideally, I don't know what she paying, but ideally if you know that they play Steel song, you might want to find Ursula the Silver just to live off the song, or even they don't have the song. Now you don't have to worry about the song, right? And then you can pay your game plan. And then third turn, if they go like Echo, like Daisy, or something that your Kid Cow Kicker can do, you can Kid Cow Kicker on 3, and then after that you can try to buy a turn to turn the table. But on game 1, she just like turn 1 shift Rhino, I don't have anything. Turn 1 Rhino, turn 2 shift Rhino, and then after that Smee or Yeah, and then lady to the dog or something like that. Just like, okay, there's no turning back. And my hand is like, genie, Peter Pan,
Oh yeah, there was a
or
lot of
something like
winkles.
that. Just like there's nothing to do about that. On the pay, we can just file whatsoever one drop. And then slide the Kid Cow Kicker. If we lucky, Kid Cow Kicker sing something. And after that, I think there is nothing much to worry about it. And yeah, on the door, we just need to find Ursula and Kid Cow Kicker. When she opened Daisy on the third game, I have like what I keep in my hand is Diablo one dog and then Crab and Fox. I just like, what if she opened Daisy and I don't have Ursula in starting hand, and she opened Daisy. It's like, yes, let's go. And then after that, it's like her Daisy give me a kid and just give me a Kid Cow Kicker. So that's kind of like really favorable to me. I'm like getting a bit lucky out of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Color and I, we observed that from the booth as well. The daisies were doing no favors to JMBN this time, but they were giving you all the cards you needed. But one more card I wanted to talk about that had some great effects. We had, two more cards. We had the Cricky and we had the Ursula, the Big Sea Witch. I know that card came in. Were you holding those cards trying to get that shift set up? And the Cricky came in with a huge impact. Were those things that you were trying to lean on to help turn the tides in your favor in that game number 2?
Yeah, game number 2, I just like you can see that I don't turn my Ursula sideways at all because like I just like I don't want her to die and I'm gonna shift on 5, and if I can shift her on 5, it's kind of like it's still the game. Just like there is no turning back. If she plays something, let's say Piglet or whatever, I can Ursula exert them and just run into it with Fox or Crab or whatever that I have. And I also have Elsa in my hand. At that time, I just like, okay, this game I got it.
Nice. I thought it was very well played. Coley, you have anything for Tanawin? I know you met him too. We were down there in Ink and had a good time. Any questions you have for him before we kick it over to JMBN and get their feedback of how they felt this match went?
Yeah, I definitely I noticed that like, when they were on the play the third game and dropped the turn 1 Daisy, we were I was just like I as an Amethyst player, I love seeing a turn 1 Daisy at that point. Like a turn 1 Cindy is what I actually get terrified of, because then I know my Diablo and everything, my all of my plans are about to, fall apart. So you were happy to see the Daisy, or you would have rather seen something else?
Oh, I agree with you, and we're on the same page. Just like if they open Daisy, I think that is much better than open Cindy. You know that like, okay, now you cannot pay anything on turn 1. But if they open Daisy, you can set up something on turn 1, right? Because they cannot sing. And after that, you Ursula on 2, lift some songs. And after that, if we got a song, so that's they lose 1 card. And after that, I think we can turn the table from there.
Nice. Well played, man. I thought it was very well done, very well executed, and taking nothing away from JMBN, who came out here. You fell kind of short in this matchup. You're playing this Amber Steel deck, which I think is probably one or two best deck in the format. Can you just talk about this deck, what it means to you, and why did you bring this deck to this event today? Oh, I can't hear.
Just to be very,
Whatever.
can you hear me?
I can hear you now. There you go.
Okay. I mean, to be very honest, I kind of just sleeved up this deck this morning. I just saw that like it's been doing really well. I think, in like the third game, it was difficult because I didn't see any Docker Rapunzels. So I was really kind of like unable to get any additional draw or to really like bring the board further out. And then he kept, bouncing all my stuff at the same time. So it's kind of like, I just needed like, I think a little bit more card draw to try to get into some of the songs to, get rid of like the Fox and stuff. And so definitely fell short there. But yeah, I mean, it's a good game. I enjoyed it. I always like trying different decks and just to see how they play. So it's a good experience.
Yeah, I usually like this matchup, but did you have any trepidations with the Daisy Duck? We did mention that earlier in this interview. The Daisy Duck was giving your opponent so much good
Yeah.
value, especially in that game
She
number
was a
I mean,
three.
at some point
traitor.
in my mind, I was like, really? Like, where's like the mother's nose pet? You know, like
Yeah,
where
yeah, right.
With the friends on the other
and
side or something like that.
yeah, and it's hard. It definitely I didn't have the turn one Cindy, and I think I wasn't trying to mulligan like super aggressively for it, and
Mhm.
maybe I should have.
Mhm.
But I wanted to keep some of like, the bigger guys if I could, just because I knew that he, had like the crab and stuff, and I didn't want to put too many like the 2-2s or 1-2s that were just gonna like get banished
Yeah.
really easily. Um, and definitely took out the Ursula because I knew he had a shift waiting in his hand, and he did. I saw
Right.
him inked it, so I was like, okay, that was at least a good play on my part.
Absolutely. That was a super heads up play, and it worked out great because that thing would have came down and it gave you a lot of
Yeah,
fists,
I was
just
like,
like it did in
I
that in
need
that
to
in
get
that
rid of
other
this.
game. That second game, it came down and just did absolute heavy
Yeah.
lifting on you. I know you didn't want to see that happen again soon, but Color, I know you liked it too. What are some of the things you saw, Color, from your unique perspective?
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely recognize that Ursula shift line because I know as soon as you stormed that Ursula, we saw them ink the big Ursula. So that had to feel good, right? Where you were just like, ha
Yeah, it felt
ha,
so good.
like
I was like, I
yeah.
knew it. I saw that Ursula wasn't questing, and I was just
Mhm.
like, okay, he's, you know, definitely trying to shift the Ursula, and it was already difficult enough to try to draw into all the songs itself, but I knew I had to get rid of that Ursula.
Yeah,
For
for
sure.
sure.
For sure.
That was
I mean,
definitely.
But
I was hoping for some Docs and Rapunzels that would have been nice to draw into a couple
Oh,
of
so you
those in the
do have
last
Rapunzel
game.
in your deck.
I
That
do,
was what I was
I do,
wondering.
I do.
Wow.
I play 4.
She
mm,
did not show up at
no,
all. Not
No,
even
no.
once.
no,
I just assumed she wasn't in the deck because I know some people are cutting them. So I was like, oh, maybe we're doing the progressive cut
no.
Rapunzel
I
thing.
like the Rapunzel just because it quests for 2. It's a 1/5. It's not like
Big.
it's
Yeah.
you kind of need to have like a combo to like get rid of it in one turn or use 2 different characters. And then
She
like
was
the
just
dog.
gone this whole time.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes it happens though. Like some of these games, you get unlucky and you just don't see the cards you need to see. So
because Rhino
that's
was a
that's
lovely Rapunzel target. So
yeah.
that would have
I was
been
really
nice.
hoping I would draw into Rapunzel or Dot, just like to get me more draw and more just more better cards to ink. I inked a couple of things that I didn't really want to ink, but didn't
Hmm.
really have a choice. I feel like, but overall, it's a fun deck.
Absolutely.
I mean, the
And
first
then
game looked super fun.
Yeah.
yeah, if they all can go like that, you'll be the
I know.
best
I
player in
think
the
this deck
universe.
is
That was
just a
so good.
Yeah.
very high roll or bust kind of situation. You take too long and you're kind of just dead.
Hmm. Absolutely, but
But
I mean, it's
yeah,
still it's that's a game though. We enjoy it. I love seeing you come out here and play, and I think you represent your team quite well. And it just didn't work out for you this time. I mean, the ICL is going to be a hit or miss thing. You guys kind of didn't get it done, but I think you had a phenomenal season overall. And I want to thank you guys for your participation. I do appreciate you guys showing up. But before we let you go, we always like to do special shout outs. Anything that you want to say? We'll start with you first. JMBN, the floor is yours. Take it away.
shout out to our Team Tian Hu. It's always great to have a good team behind you to practice. I will say I hope for next season's ICL it could be maybe an hour later. It has been a
Hmm.
struggle for us to get our people into play. We want everyone to get a chance, but we do have jobs and we can't always make a 4 o'clock time.
Yeah. And West Coast, man. They don't care about us
I
over
know our
here.
whole team is West Coast, and I think that's the problem. Where like our entire team is like 4 o'clock. We're like, okay, who can be flexible enough to get off work early enough at 3:30 to play ICL?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's something we might be able to
Yeah,
to at least kick the tires on. I talked to Luke about
yeah,
it too because
I would
East
love
Coast
to.
would also get cooked as well.
Yeah, well,
Oh yeah.
most of the people that play Lorcana, I feel like are night owls anyway. So I think an hour later for them wouldn't be that terrible.
I
Okay.
don't know, girl.
Okay.
It's 10 o'clock here.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Well,
we gotta be in the
West Coast.
middle. We'll
West
be in the
Coast is
middle.
the best coast. We gotta support.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
all right.
For
Well,
sure. Okay.
I'll
Okay.
just get like a Red Bull or something like that. It'll be great.
Lock in. Lock in. Okay, but we have Copos here. 10 win. You got another 10 win. Okay, you got it done. Representing yourself well as well. So, any shout outs that you want to give before we sign off the show for this evening?
Thank you so much. Shout out to Lorana Loungers, Braden, Cran, and Otter. Loungers, we are like, yeah, I learned a lot from them, and I think we are like kind of like a fun team. Yeah, and also shout outs for the ICL. Thanks so much for doing like this team league thing is so much fun, and I think it's kind of like spark kind of like the format that we potentially a lot of people can enjoy, just not just one-on-one, and also like 3 versus 3 moving forward. Yeah, that's all about it.
All right. Thank you again. Well said. And thank you so much for those kind words. And thank you both for your participation. And we'll be seeing more Lorcana Loungers going into the future rounds. Tian Ho, I think your journey ends today. But thank you guys again for your participation, your volunteership, because without you, there would be no ICL either. So we'll let you both go and depart and have a nice, fantastic evening. And we'll hop back into the booth. Again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Super quick and just like that, Colors Law. We are back, and that is not the drill I thought it would be. As Tian Hu comes down with the 0-3 loss to the Lorcana Loungers here, I think that is an upset of the century, to say the least.
That's who you said was gonna win, though.
Yeah, yeah. I think he cursed him. I think that was a kiss. That was the kiss, the kiss of death. Yeah, he just dragged down to the grave. Absolutely. But Color, it was, as always, it was great to see you again and be here with you in the booth. Where can I get more Color? What do you got coming up? Please, the floor is now yours. Take it away. Color is law.
There's no way.
Oh, she was muted. I'm just terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh,
restart.
All right, run it
Okay,
back. Everything.
I wasn't muted. Okay, that's cool. I was like, did I do it? Was it on my end? Okay, no. Okay, it wasn't me. Whew, we're good. I lost my mind for a second. I was like, I feel like I clicked the right amount of buttons.
And you were saying everything so well. It's always when you say it so eloquently is when you're muted. Luke does this on purpose,
I wasn't muted.
No,
Don't
wasn't.
lie to
production.
her. Just it was terrible. You know it. She knows
production that
it.
had
She's
you.
lucky
You were fine.
she gets another chance.
You were fine.
Listen, wow, I'm like
production had you cooked there, and it's always when you deliver it so good. It's like a nice, eloquent delivery. Boom, you're muted, and now you're like, well, I'll never be able to say it that way.
Yeah,
again.
I'm like,
But
I
you
don't
can
know,
try.
dude. Like,
Go
whatever.
ahead.
Yeah, I guess. So, like, I said some stuff. No, so basically, I have my YouTube show, Allies on the Other Side, and I am in the middle of editing episode 5, which actually has Lorcana Villain and Harlan Sweet and Ally Sweet. So we have a little bit of a UK action going on in the next episode. So that should be fun. I should be getting that out by the end of the week. Next week, I will be taking an episode off just because there is a lot going on. There's a lot of tournaments. I think there's CCS coming up this weekend, and there's like a few other things going on. So I will be quite busy for the next week. And then after that, the schedule is stacked. So we have like world class cards coming on at some point. We have TFM coming on at some point. We have a winners episode that's gonna come up at some point. And then so you'll be back. That'll be there. So yeah, we'll be playing some multiplayer and losing friends and making enemies
on the other
as
side.
we tend to do. Yeah, on the other side.
And you guys have to check that show out, man. It is very funny. Every episode I've watched, my face is just just laugh. My jaws are hurting from laughing so much. Hey yo, so I'm a big fan, and you guys should definitely check out Allies on the Other Side if you want to watch some fun YouTube Lorcana content. But that is going to wrap up this evening's show. Color, as always, thank you so much for being here, and everyone else who joined us in the booth. We had Key Issues Garrick, and we also had Katie from the Lorcan Percent. Also, huge shout out to Beth and the ICL and Arcus Umi for wearing the gown tonight and keeping this thing orderly and tight. I do appreciate that. Luke, always in the production booth,
Thank you, Bobby.
sacrificing your time for Worlds to keep the ICL running through this tumultuous time. So make sure you guys throw a follow if you haven't done so already to support Luke, to let him know that you appreciate the ICL as much as we all do. Also, huge shout out to Rod Gaston and White Breeze, who kind of taken some time off getting their whole thing figured out, but they're still part of the ICO crew as well. We want to shout out to both of them for their contributions. Well, my fellow Illumineers, we're about to get up out of here. We're going to be rating Lorcana Bell. The bells are ringing. So let's see what Lorcana Bell is doing. You guys keep it locked. Don't touch that dial. Make sure you throw on the follow button when you get over there and let her know where you came from. Peace. All right.
Oh.
There it is.
What happened?